from Christmas. That, of course, is taking a lot of the attention at the moment. And then, of course, once we're past that, we'll be back to live shows. We'll be heading to 2026. And there's obviously going to be a lot of hope that 2026 is going to be a better year. So this is a tape show. I genuinely don't know how many people are going to be around for this. It's hard to know how many people are going to be around for Christmas week. It's tape shows, the spoilers that are out there, I think that'll probably keep a good chunk of people away. But there's many of you that want to talk about wrestling, just like me. Still want to talk about wrestling, still want to get our teeth into what's going down and what's happening, and there's quite a bit on the preview. Of course there would be, because this is a tape show, so we know what's going to be happening. So we might as well start there, then we'll jump into the chat and we'll kind of see where the conversation is and what conversations people want to have. So CM Punk and Rey Mysterio are going to be joining forces. They're going to be taking on two members of the Vision. So looks to be Braun and Logan, looking at this graphic. So that, I think, is our main event tonight. We got Gunther. He's going to be appearing after the controversial celebration following John Cena, the win over John Cena. So we're going to see Gunther again. I don't know any spoilers. I don't need to know any spoilers. We're just going to watch the show. So I don't know what's going down. Obviously, we saw Gunther with AJ Styles last week, which was interesting. Definitely a match that I'm looking for. Don't need it to be the retirement match. In fact, I would sort of prefer it wasn't. I don't need Gunther to now be, like, responsible for retiring people. That doesn't need to be his sort of gimmick, if you will. So he can retire him. I'm not looking for that. They can just do it as a match and it'll be a banger. I would really like for AJ to have a match in TNA before he retires. So I don't know. I don't know if we're teasing WrestleMania. I don't know if we're teasing something for Saturday night's main event, or Rumble, or Chamber, or a feud for Mania. Not sure as to what that was last week, but it definitely feels like Gunther AJ is going to be something we're going to get at some point soon. Rhea Ripley is going to go one-on-one with Asuka. Fine. Maxxine returns after her, I'm not sure I would use the word impressive, but a title defense, let's put it that way. I saw that match got like 5 points on Cage Match, but I mean, it wasn't alone. Most of the matches last week scored very, very poorly, so she certainly wasn't alone. Bayley set to go to war against Roxanne Perez. Fine. Javon Evans takes on Rayo Americano. So, I mean, that's just a showcase for Javon, isn't it? But a bit weird that word has come out there hasn't been any NXT call-ups yet. So, apparently that's not a call-up. They just want to showcase him again. So, but that'll be fine. I think it's weird that we're doing these tag matches as singles matches. I suppose it's end of the year and it's just a bit of a showcase. It's a bit of a time filler, actually. That's how it strikes me. It's a little bit of, let's do these singles matches. We'll fill some time. It gets them on the show and, you know, fine, whatever. Hard to get excited for these two. They're just nothing singles matches. But again, you know, I am going into these shows with low expectations. I think if you're coming into this expecting anything, then you're going to be disappointed. This is Christmas week, tape shows. This week, in my mind, they could have just not given us anything before we have had best of the year shows. So we have actually done shows where we just look back on the best of the year. So I'm grateful that it's not that. Because, well, they'd struggle to fill 2 hours, actually. But they at least are giving us brand new content. So it's new content, new stuff. Might not be the most exciting in the world, but it's better than nothing, isn't it? It's better than them having a week off and just doing best of the year, which is what we have seen them do in years previous. So that's the card. That's the match order. It is obviously the final Raw before Christmas. I think next week we're back to being live. We know tomorrow's NXT was taped. We know that Friday's SmackDown was taped. So I think next Monday we're back to being live. So there we go. That is a little bit of a breakdown, a little bit of a preview. That is what we've got to look forward to tonight. I did see a couple of messages coming in, super chats that I wanted to jump to. Will, shout out to you, my friends. Said, I didn't even know that it had been 7 months. It's flown by. Will, shout out to you. It does go so quickly. I think the thing with wrestling is it doesn't stop, does it? It just keeps moving forwards. It just keeps finding a way of just kind of, just moving forward, providing talking points. Like, you're just on to the next thing, on to the next thing. Before you know it, time has really gone by. I mean, I don't even know where 2025 has gone. I mean, it really feels like we were just getting ready for the Royal Rumble and getting ready for the Netflix show, getting ready for Cena's final year. There was lots of excitement coming into 2025 because it was going to be the first year on Netflix. What was that going to do ratings-wise? You know, there was so much excitement for that. It was like, yeah, Raw's going to go to a different level. We've got Cena's retirement year. Like, that's going to be so good. And there was just all this optimism. And, it's just crazy, like, how the year actually ended up going on reflection. So, it is what it is. We've obviously had many conversations about all of that. We can have many more if you want. But, I'm still optimistic for 2026, though. Okay, Hasib, hello, Hasib, said, Daze, in your opinion, do we think Randy not being amongst the Mania promo is disrespectful? Off the top of my head, other than Seth, he's like one of the biggest stars not to be at that table. Honestly, my honest answer is I don't give a flip. I honestly don't care. Like, that's my honest answer. For me, whoever they use in the advert, whoever they use on the poster, I always think that that's kind of like a big load of nothing. I just don't think it really matters. I think if I'm Randy, I might have a bit of a question as to, hang on, you're doing like a big advert thing to promote your biggest stars, and I've not been invited. But, I mean, do we expect Randy to be in any of the top matches for Mania? I've got to think probably not. I feel like there was a chance that he could have turned heel and gone into a feud with Cody, and there's still a chance that that could happen. But there's nothing really to base that on. Word on the street is Roman, Cody, Bron Breakker, of course, Gunther, of course. But saying that, Gunther wasn't at the table, and I expect him to have a big match at WrestleMania. So, I don't know. I mean, do you just sort of go down a road where you start going, okay, well, that person wasn't at the table, but that person was at the table, so... And, you might start just kind of getting all twisted up. So, I don't know. For me, they've just invited some big names along, and you got to draw the line somewhere. Bayley wasn't used for the women's. I think it's fine for Randy to be a bit disappointed in it. I think it's fine for Bayley to be a bit disappointed in it. But I ain't giving it no thought whatsoever. Don't give a flip. Makes no difference to me whatsoever. It doesn't mean that he won't still get a singles match or a good spot on the cards. But I don't know. Do we expect him to be in one of those main events? Not really. There was a chance that he could have been, but there's been no word or rumor that he's going to be. And unfortunately, I've got to say that's where Bayley is as well. I don't think Bayley is going to be in any of the kind of high-profile world title matches. So, yeah, I don't really give it much thought. I think if you worry about those kinds of things, if you're a wrestler, if you worry about those kinds of things, then you'd be worrying about a lot. You'd be worrying about posters. You'd be worrying about not being used for certain meet and greets. You'd be worrying about various different promos and adverts. That one is an advert for early ticket sales. When we get a bit closer to WrestleMania, I'm sure there'll be obviously some different kind of promotional material. So will some of the missing superstars feature on that? I would imagine so. So this is to promote like the early ticket sales. So I don't know. To me, not bothered. Doesn't really make any difference. I think they've got bigger problems. Edward said Dominic has a separated shoulder from landing awkwardly. Is that been confirmed, has it? I know that they said there was injury, but I've not seen any update as to what the injury actually was. So that's interesting. Hopefully that's nothing too serious and it's not going to keep him out too long. Dean said, do we have any info on the algorithm and new subscribers? I tried to post a message, but it said only subscribers could. I had to restart YouTube and come back before I could do it. No, don't know anything about it, but it sounds like a YouTube glitch. I haven't changed any settings. So if you've refreshed and it's allowing you to do it now, I can only imagine it's some sort of YouTube glitch. Chris, hello. Shout out to you. Said, I'm back. New York was amazing. Oh, brilliant, Chris. Well, I'm glad you had a good time, buds. I mean, I bet it was. I've been to New York once and it was fantastic. I wasn't there too long. I was only there for a couple of days. But yeah, I mean, it's such an amazing place to visit. I'd love to go back, so I'd love to go to the 9/11 museum. I always say that's maybe the biggest thing that's ever happened kind of in my lifetime. I know the pandemic was pretty big, but I don't go out much anyway. So for me, it didn't really make much difference. So like 9/11 and the fallout of that and everything that went down with that, I still regard as being the biggest thing. So I'd like to go to the museum, pay respects and everything. It was such a massive moment in my life, in the world, in the history of the world as well. Actually, funny, there was a countdown of like the biggest, most shocking moments in like recent history. And 9/11 came, it was on Watch Mojo. 9/11 was number 2 and the pandemic was number 1. So, yeah, I'd like to go there. I'd like to go, I'd like to go Manhattan Center and obviously always fun to pop into Madison Square Garden, the spiritual home of WWE. That would be pretty cool. So, yeah, a couple of bits. I mean, I've done Statue of Liberty, Empire State Building, the tourist stuff. I've done those things, but it's a great city. I mean, it's a very vibrant city, so there's always stuff going on in New York. So I'm glad you had a good time. And Aaron, hello. Aaron said, Merry Christmas days. Appreciate all the content. Thank you, Aaron, throughout the year. Everyone here makes every show more enjoyable. One wish, Ober, call up. So, Aaron, thank you, my friends. Yes, I agree. It's always fun to talk wrestling. You lot always bring interesting conversation. And, yeah, Ober call up. I agree. I think he was so impressive at Saturday night's main event that an Ober call up would be such a breath of fresh air, And I really feel like that's what the main rosters need, is a bit of a breath of fresh air. So, yeah, I'm with you on that. I'll join that campaign. Benny said, Daze, I saw Ric Flair say that Sting's retirement worked because there was no one worth putting over in AEW. I'm sure it's the opposite in WWE. Who is worth putting over in WWE? Well, there's lots, isn't there? Gunther was worth putting over. Ober would have been worth putting over. There would have been loads that would have been worth putting over. I'm sure there's people worth putting over in AEW. My knowledge of that company, of course, is not that strong because I don't watch, so I can't massively comment, but I'm sure there was someone worth putting over. I'm not sure Rick watches, to be honest, so I'm not sure that he's got the greatest AEW knowledge in the world, but I'm sure there was someone that was worth putting over. David Mosden 7596, shout out to you, my friend, welcome. Members, we do have a quiz tomorrow, of course. For members wondering, it is the faction game tomorrow. Normally we do our normal chat stream. Our normal chat stream will be on Wednesday, and then we do have the faction game tomorrow. So just worth mentioning that for members. What do we think the reason for Randy doing nothing is since he returned in 2023? We can't say his age, as Punk's older, LA Knight is 2 years younger, and so with guys therefore is used better. Well, to be honest, I think he's got a lot of injuries. I mean, the one that he came back from, I mean, he was away for a long time, wasn't he, when he came back at Survivor Series? I think the truth is his body is done. I think the truth is that Randy's body, the injuries that he's had, he's having to be very, very careful, a lot more careful than Punk and LA Knight. And, you know, I think his body's pretty much close to being done. I think he is squeezing every last drop out of his wrestling career that he can. So, you know, we use him in like tag matches and things along those lines and use him sparingly. I have no doubt that he'll be featured at WrestleMania. But, I mean, will it be like at SummerSlam, him and Jelly Roll in a tag team? You know, I think the Randy Orton that we know and love long ago, you know, was kind of finished. In fact, I saw an interview with Riddle, and Riddle was talking about how much pain Orton was in and how bad his kind of physical health is. And he was like, he got quite emotional about it, actually. I mean, don't forget, they had Randy and Riddle together as RK Bro for quite a long time. And that was, you know, just as he gets injured. And then he's out for a long, long time. And then he does come back and, yeah, as you said, you know, we've used him kind of sparingly. We haven't really we haven't used him in the way you would expect a legend like Randy to be used, which, again, might just be why he doesn't make that advert, because we're not going to use him at the top of the cards. And we're not going to... I still hope that there is a feud with Cody, maybe one last title run, if you can book it right, in Randy. But I don't know. It really feels like we're trying to squeeze every final drop out of his body and his career, and I think he's in a pretty bad shape, honestly. Steve, hello. Steve said, I read today that maxillofacial surgery talking about Jake's broken jaw. He is going to have major issues to deal with for about a year, having his jaw wired shut and losing many teeth that need replaced. Okay. Steve, thank you. I don't know the latest with Jake. I've not seen any update. I mean, I know that he did obviously have to have a plate installed and teeth removed. And yeah, I mean, that is probably going to be a setback. I know that Eddie Hearn afterwards, there was an interesting comment from Eddie Hearn, because if you looked at Jake's social, he was like, oh, thanks for all the positivity, everything's good. You know, there was all like good vibes coming from Jake's camp. And Eddie Hearn was the only person I heard that was like, you know, that's going to be a hard injury to come back from. And he said that on the post-fight press conference. He was like, you know, that's a tough injury to come back from. He's the only one that's kind of said what you've just said there, which is, this is not an easy one to return from. Everything else, you know, a lot of the other reports have been like 6 to 8 weeks recovery. And I think the reason is because people have Googled broken jaw recovery, and Google comes back with about 6 to 8 weeks. But the truth is that, for, you know, as a boxer, that's kind of how long it takes to heal up, but it's not really fixed at that point. And I think it is more serious than that. So, I don't know. He's going to take some time now to obviously recover and take stock of the situation. Certainly don't expect any Jake Paul fights in the first part of 2026. By the sounds of it, we might not get a Jake Paul fight at all next year, which is unexpected. And I don't think he would have been expecting that either. So, yeah. I mean, he's made a load of money, but he might have lost a chunk of time out of his career, and who knows how that all recovers and everything. So I'm certainly not going to sit here and say good or anything along those lines, you know. I I don't wish Jake Paul any ill will. But like, you know, it's one of those where equally you can't step in there with a heavyweight like Joshua and be told by so many people this is dangerous and then be surprised if something like this happens, you know? I mean, thankfully it's not worse. That's what I would say. Thankfully it's not worse. There were so many people saying this doesn't make sense, this shouldn't be authorized, this is really dangerous. And I think, you know, you hear people saying it's dangerous and some people are like, shut up. It's not dangerous. He's going to be fine. Well, you know, he's relatively fine, but I mean, yeah, it could keep him out of action for quite a while here. Having your jaw broken in 2 places, having a plate installed, having teeth removed, having to have your Christmas dinner through a straw. I mean, it's not nothing, is it? So, yeah, I wish him a speedy recovery. I don't have any ill will towards Jake Paul. But I can't say I'm sat here surprised either. I don't think any of us are sat here surprised at the news that he stepped in there with a flipping heavyweight champion, 2-time heavyweight champion of the world, someone that's still very much an active fighter, not past it. I mean, he might be past his prime. He might not be the Anthony Joshua that he was, but he still had more than enough about him to, I think, like, connect with one big power shot, and that was the one that put Jake Paul away. I mean, honestly, he should be kind of counting his blessings that it wasn't anything even more severe, because it's hard to believe that Jake Paul could take a shot similar to what Ngannou took. I don't think that shot is as powerful as the one that Ngannou had. And God only knows what would have happened if he would have landed one of those. Still got him good, though, didn't he? Blimey now. Breaking his jaw in 2 places. Dean said, Jake doesn't need to be doing this, shiz. Here's a joke. None of the fights, his fights, are legit. This fight was, and now he sees what happens. I doubt we'll see Jake box again, said Papa Squirrel. And as for Randy, we're just lucky that we get to see him when we do. Steve said, the surgeon said this could be early retirement, depending on how the recovery goes. Well, I'm guessing, is this a surgeon that actually did the surgery, or is this one of those kind of YouTube doctors? Because I always think if it's like someone that's just based on YouTube that's like an outside observer, that are not like connected with the case, you might not be getting, they don't have all the information, you know. So I would say that if it was the guy that actually worked on Jake, that's really interesting. And if he's saying it could be early retirement, wow, right? Big news. If it's an outside observer that doesn't have all the access to all the files and the information, then I would say they're probably over-dramatizing it a little bit. I don't think this is going to lead to an early retirement. Could do by the sounds of it, but I'm not expecting that. I certainly think it keeps him out for the foreseeable future. But Steve, thank you. Very interesting. Let's have a look. Daze AAA was epic. Yeah, it was fun. Big shout out to everyone that joined us on with Saturday. Again, that was another one. I was like, I don't know how many people are going to join us. I really don't know. It was such an afterthought, and I'm going to be honest with you, this week is a bit of an afterthought for me. We've got like people coming round here on Christmas Day. We've got people coming round on the 28th. And so we got a couple of kind of things happening for Christmas, which is usual. Last year we had people round on the 25th, and we had people round we always have people round on the 28th, which is Sunday. So we always have people round. But obviously that means got to tidy up and do others. And so all of a sudden life kind of sneaks in and requires me to do some other things that's not just sitting here talking to you lot. So, yeah, you know, this week is a little bit of an afterthought. They're tape shows. I'm going to be here. I mean, I'm here now. I'm here tomorrow. I'm here on Friday. There'll still be Unseens. You know, there's still a member stream tomorrow. There's a member stream on Wednesday. Like, we're still doing stuff. But, yeah, I kind of feel like next week is when I'll be kind of really back on stuff again. So I don't think you'll notice any sort of difference, but just the amount of time I'm giving the channel away from the streams is a little bit more reduced at the moment. But yeah, I mean, for me, Saturday was a bit of an afterthought. This week's a little bit of an afterthought. So I didn't really know what to expect. So to have so many people around on Saturday joining us and having fun was really great. I really enjoyed it as well. I thought it was a really, really fun show. If you've not seen it, it's on WWE's YouTube channel. And what I would say is, watch the start of the Wyatt 6 match, because they actually have like a carnival set up with stalls and a bouncy castle. It's one of the weirdest matches I've seen for a while. And it does feel like something WWE should do on SmackDown or PLE. I kind of like the idea of an entrance stage being set up like a carnival. Maybe like a giant wheel, you know, and with there being stalls, and I could just sort of see the Wyatt 6 brawling with the MFTs in the entranceway, having fun with whatever is available, but still in front of the live crowds. And I think it was Wrestle with Andy that said the lighting was quite poor from AAA, and I agree. The backstage stuff was not well lit at all. WWE would do a much better job with their presentation of it. So I think that's worth a look, because it's quite inspiring as to what you could then do and bring to Raw and SmackDown or a PLE. And then definitely watch Javon, Jack Cartwheel, Laredo Kids. One of the highest rated matches of the year from you lot. I genuinely, I don't know what I would score it out of 5. I feel like I was around like a 4.5475. I feel like I was around that range, but then you lot dropped an all-time rating, like the biggest rating you can give. And it really got me wondering, was it 5 stars? It really got me thinking, like, was that a 5-star match? It was so good that it might have been. It actually might have been. The only thing is, when you see a 5-star match, I always think you go, that's 5 stars. And I actually didn't have that for that match. So I was thinking 4.5475. But then you lot delivered this monster rating, and it really got me wondering whether it was actually a 5-star match. I'll be very interested to see what Dave Meltzer gives it. Not that it matters, but it'll just be interesting to see if he goes, no, yeah, 5 stars. So I'm going to keep my eye out for Dave Meltzer's AAA ratings. But it was a really fun show, yeah, it was really good. Hawks fan said, I heard Logan wants to fight Joshua now. Well, let him. That's what I say. Let him. Steve said, AAA show was awesome. I wish the main roster would take notes. The Carnival of Chaos match was awesome. The booths, the bounce house. It reminded me of like a carnival party my wife and I threw our daughters years ago. Steve, shout out to you. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it was so different. Again, a breath of fresh air, wasn't it? A breath of fresh air. And I feel like that's something that's been missing. You know, we keep using the same words for WWE, for Raw, for SmackDown. Those words are sterile, comfortable, safe, you know, not massively exciting. It's an original. It feels like it's promos, it's matches, it's conversations in the corridor, and that's about it. We've seen a few flickers recently, you know. Cody going around Drew's house, great. Cody fighting Drew in the parking area, great, you know. Bronson doing that tsunami to LA Knight on top of a car, okay. I mean, I definitely feel like creative have had the same sort of conversation, because all of a sudden we're seeing a couple of things that's not just a promo, a match, or a conversation in the corridor. And so I appreciate that. That gives me hope for 2026. But yeah, I mean, that carnival thing they did in AAA, that's one of the most exciting original things I've seen in quite a while. I mean, people going around people's houses if you creatively are going to talk about doing something away from the ring, most people will think of doing something in the parking area or doing something where they go round the house, and that's about it, really, right? That's about it. So to actually do like a carnival setup, I thought was fantastic. Really, really good. That's the kind of out the box thinking which I really like. And the great thing from that, as I said, is that then all of a sudden you go, well, why don't we do that as the set for a PLE and actually have an interactive set? You know, you could do a theme around some sort of carnival. You know, rather than WrestlePalooza, you could, or you could still keep that name, but make it like a carnival theme, and then you've got the stalls set up in the entranceway, and just bring some fun to the show, and have that entranceway be used during one of the matches. I kind of think that stuff like, do you know what I mean? Like you see something, and you go, oh, we could do, and then you can bounce off it. But you sort of need that original idea to bounce off. And this is why WWE in 2025 has felt very safe, very sterile, very comfortable. We just haven't been coming up with those kinds of ideas. And then, of course, if you don't come up with those kinds of ideas, you can't then bounce off those ideas, which then take you to other places. And so it's just match, promo, conversation in the corridor backstage. And it was just that for the majority of the year. So I agree. It fills me with optimism for 2026 that hopefully WWE are going to be, you know, pushing the envelope a little bit more, pushing those boundaries a little bit more, certainly in the build to WrestleMania. Barnaby said, what time does Raw start? Starts in about an hour and 27 minutes. We always start a couple of hours before. We love to talk about wrestling. So about an hour and 27 minutes to go. Right, Uncle Rebel, hello. Hope you're doing well, buds. Shout out to you. Cadet said, Daze, do you miss Miracle on 34th Street Fight on holiday episodes? Not really. I think they're okay, but again, it's just very repetitive, very samey. You know, it's that time of year, and so that's the kind of thing that we do. I sort of feel like I don't mind Christmas theming. My understanding is that this is obviously going to have heavy Christmas theming, which is nice. I like that. Makes it different. Miracle on 34th Street Fight is fine if you want to do it like once in a while, but doing it every year and it just being sort of the same thing every year is not really. It's not exciting enough really for it to be something I want to see every year. You know, let's do something else. I'm fine with keeping the Christmas theme in, but you know, let's do something different. There's just, again, it's just a lack of originality. They haven't seemingly not replaced it with anything. I mean, maybe they have. We'll find out tonight. But they haven't replaced it with. They've just got rid of it. That's it. You're either going to have the same match every year, which is just a street fight, and the only reason we do it is because we want to get some presents at ringside, some eggnog, and you know, all that kind of stuff, right? So you either get that or you don't get anything at all. And there's like, how are you not coming up with anything else? I don't understand this lack of creativity. You know, this is why I said one of the first things you'd want to do if you worked for WWE, like as say Triple H, is you'd want to see like what ideas are they just tired? Is everyone tired? I don't know. I feel like I'd walk in the room and everyone would just be like slumped over the desk, like exhausted, falling asleep, uninspired. Do you know what I mean? You walk in and all the walls are white and there's just a computer screen in front of someone that's like falling asleep and it's flickering away and it's got like, on this week's Raw, we should ... and then there's nothing else written and there's people like just falling asleep. That's how 2025 has felt. It doesn't feel like people are wide awake. I'd give everyone cocaine. I'd just go in and go, like, dish out some cocaine, right? Here you go, like that. That'll get them awake, yeah? Everyone could do a line of that, and they'd be like, ah. Off we go. You won't be able to stop them. They have amazing ideas coming out. That's the future. So, yeah, hopefully 2026, creative will get addicted to cocaine. And then they can start churning out ideas. It just feels very slow, doesn't it? It just feels like everyone's falling asleep in the rooms. It's like, I feel like if I walked into the creative room, I'd have to do that first. Is everyone like, huh? What? Hello, everyone. As everyone's like just dozing off. So yeah, you know, let's hope that there's a lot of Class A drugs that are given as presents this year to the creative team, so they can be a bit more on it. And you know, we can get some more ideas coming out of them, because I can't tell if it's a lack of ideas there, or as I've said before, if Triple H is just like shutting them down. Like maybe the teams are great and they're coming up with loads of ideas, and it's Triple H is the one that's like, we're not doing that. You know, it's being really like boring. Don't know. I just don't know. We need another Unreal. I need a whole series where we do nothing but focus on the creative teams. That's my dream. I need WWE Creative, the TV show. That's what I need. I need to follow creative. I need them to follow them around. I need to see what it's like, their average day. I need to see their ideas they're coming up with. I need to see Triple H's response. I want to see an idea be thought of, and then I want to see it brought to the ring, and I want to see that process. That's the show. That's my dream show. That is my dream WWE show, is that we follow a writer that is, you know, kind of working on a show. They have an idea. We watch it be debated. We watch how that idea evolves, develops. Some of the kind of counters, oh, well, we can't do this because of this and that, and blah, blah, blah. And basically, we see it get pitched to Triple H. And then we see it being approved. We see the talent executing it. And we see that whole process. That would be great. That would be so insightful. I mean, what twists and turns does an idea take? Some probably just go straight through. Some, you know, crash and burn. Some get butchered with lots of other people sharing their opinions on it, you know? I mean, I don't know. It could be really interesting. I doubt we'll ever get that show. I was sort of hoping Unreal would have a bit more of that. Maybe not to that extent, but I still liked Unreal. And the next one, as we said, is early next year, the next Unreal. It's going to focus on SummerSlam, so should be good. We'll be obviously keeping our eyes peeled for that. I think it's going to be hard to roadmap stuff between people's schedules, time off, injuries. Things change weekly. I'm not defending creative. I just don't think it's that easy, says Uncle Rebel. Oh, no, it's definitely not that easy. I mean, you would have a rough outline as to what you want to do for the forthcoming shows. And then, of course, as soon as someone gets injured, that's going to then change things. And so then, you know, you're going down a different road. But it's not that easy, because you're not going to only have one injury. As you've said, you've then got scheduling issues as well. And, you know, some people have issues with flights and all this kind of stuff. And, you know, there's probably a lot that goes on that we're not privy to. I mean, just look at, like, people not having ring gear arrive in time and the drama that brings up. And I'm not saying people don't have matches because of that. But the kind of issues that go on behind the scenes that we're just not privy to, there must be quite a bit. And, you know, trying to book through all of that at the end of the day, cutting through all of that and delivering a show. I'm in agreement with you. I agree. But the only problem with using that as a defense is I think that has always been a problem. That has always been an issue. So the fact they were able to deliver good shows in 2023, 2024, we got the Bloodline. You know, there's the whole Attitude Era, and you know, there's been lots of times that WWE has really delivered. Otherwise, we wouldn't be fans, would we? You know, we wouldn't stick around. The reason we ride through the bad is because we're waiting to get back to the good, and we've obviously experienced the goods. So obviously they've been able to do it on those occasions. So it's just hard to use it as a defense. It's definitely something that should be acknowledged, that it is not easy, and I think you're right to point that out. But they have overcome those challenges in the past to deliver fantastic shows, and that's the job in it. That is the job. Like, you've got to overcome those challenges on a regular basis in 2026, because I don't know if it was those challenges that stopped them in 2025. I don't think it was. I think that they actually tried some ideas that just did not work. You know, they tried that John Cena heel run, which did not work. They tried launching the Vision. I don't think creatively they booked those segments right. You know, they had people around for those shows. They had the Vision. The Vision were there. They would open the show with a promo. They'd feature in the main event. Can't really give you a reason or an excuse as to why we weren't going backstage and digging into the characters more, because they were there. So, you know, from that point of view, you look at it and go, well, don't really have a reason as to why we didn't flesh the Vision out more when we knew that's what we needed to do. I mean, they blooming did a segment the other week where we went backstage. You had Logan talking to Heyman, Heyman talking to Braun. Everyone was like, this is great. This is exactly what the Vision needs. And it's like, yeah. That's what it's needed since WrestleMania. And they've been around. So why ain't we been doing it? I don't know. And why have creatively you not had more stuff for Cody to do as champion? To the point where a lot of people have just gone, this is dull. This is boring. He's not an interesting character. I mean, I will say they are doing some stuff now. Do you know, it's so frustrating, isn't it? Because I feel like we've said do more stuff that's not just in-ring and not just promo in a corridor. And they're doing that now, right? We're seeing flickers of it. And we've said, you know, do something with Cody that's interesting. They're doing it. They're giving him an edge. People are asking now, is he turning heel? Of the way that he spoke to Nick Aldis. The way that he went round Drew's house. You know, he can't attack Drew, otherwise he'll lose his championship now. Don't know when that match is going to be. I haven't seen an announcement, but there's obviously a match coming. Guessing we get some answers on that maybe Friday. But we're definitely showing more of an edge for Cody, more of an attitude, which is interesting and has got people talking. And we're showing a bit more stuff outside of the ring, which is really good. We're doing a bit more with the Vision as well, where we're going backstage and doing some character development. We've obviously added Austin Theory, which is going to change that dynamic. That's going to be interesting. That we're going to get that tonight, actually. Austin Theory is now, we're guessing, a member. Obviously, word on the street was he was going to be a member. So we're guessing he's now a member. So you sort of look at all these things and you're like, why are you doing it now? Why have you decided that, like, November, December is the time to start doing this stuff when it should have been happening immediately? Not only post WrestleMania, but in the build to WrestleMania. Like, why now? What's going on? So, honestly, genuinely, I would not be shocked if someone's had a word. I would not be shocked if someone has spoken to creative or spoken to Triple H and said, look, you need to change your ways here. You've got to change what you're doing. Because there are definitely things happening now that were not happening for most of 2025. So, I don't know. I take some comfort from it that I'm seeing some green shoots. Doesn't mean the shows are good anymore, right? Doesn't mean that the shows are overall have improved, right? Some of the recent episodes have actually been very, very poor. And I think there's a chance tonight could be poor, right? Again, just look at the preview. Is there anything there of note? Is there anything there that of consequence? Is there anything there that really matters? I would say on the preview, no. I mean, we're going to hear from Gunther. Maybe someone's going to step up to him. Maybe it's going to be AJ following last week. That could be interesting. Singles matches with the women that doesn't matter. We know that's ultimately going to lead to tag matches. So women's matches, it's just here. Here's some women. Yeah. Watch this. And it doesn't really mean anything whatsoever. You know, the tag match's got like CM Punk Rey against the Vision. Don't matter who wins. CM Punk Rey could win. Vision could win. Don't make no difference whatsoever. So I don't know. I haven't seen spoilers. You lot might be sat there going, no, it's actually going to be amazing. He doesn't know this is going down. He doesn't know that NXT are going to invade tonight or whatever. I have no idea, right? But I think on the preview, this looks to be, you know, a Christmas week show. Kind of show that you watch and you go, well, I'll take that over not having anything. Yeah, I'll take that over not having any show whatsoever. Right. Mayor Pete, shout out to you, bud. Thank you. Mayor Pete says, happy holidays. Hope this goes towards a figure. You called this year bads, but you ratings are normally like 6 out of 10. The year to me has just been average, not bads, which would be like 2019, which would be like 3s and 4s, says Mayor Pete. Mayor Pete, thank you. That'll certainly be going towards chairs or a chair. I am saving up for that and should hopefully get one in January. I think the year is bad in relation to where we've been. So I agree that 2019 is worse, and I agree that there are worse years. I mean, I think the pandemic, 2021 is probably a worse year. 2020, maybe. Maybe. There was some stuff in 2020. I think the excitement of not having a crowd and, you know, it being a year you know is going to be remembered forever because of the fact that it's never been done. I mean, I can't remember any other year in WWE's history where there was no crowd. And so I think with 2020, there was a bit of something to that. But I mean, the WrestleMania is, in my opinion, awful. And a lot of those shows are not great. But there's moments, you know, Edge comes back that year, for example. We get one of the great Royal Rumble moments. So, I don't know. I mean, I feel like this might be kind of similar to 2020. I think it's better than 2021. I was not a fan of 2021. Any sort of magic of like not having a crowd had kind of long wore off. I can't remember when they come back, actually. I mean, I know they were back for WrestleMania, but then they were gone again. And we didn't have them after Mania. And I can't remember when they come back. It might have been towards the end of 2021. But, yeah, for me, this has been better than a few years. But I use the word bad because I think it is bad in relation to where we've been. And certainly bad compared to expectation. I think this year has got some 5s out of me. And mostly 6s. Whereas in recent years, I was in mostly 7s. I mean, for me to get down to 3s, 4s, like what Mayor Pete was just saying, it would honestly have to be shows that really were annoying me. The thing with a lot of these shows is that they might be safe and comfortable and uninspiring, but I don't leave them feeling a sense of anger. And I think that's where, you know, that's where for me, I'm not down in like 3s, 4s, stuff like that. You know, I mean, if I was consistently watching a show that was like 1 or 2, I would stop watching it. That is for me. I ain't watching this anymore. I mean, this is outright bad. This is, I'm actually angry here. Like, this is Logan Paul being made champion and just celebrities coming in, beating wrestlers, or whatever it is that would make you angry. Whatever it is that would really like make you go, I can't do this. that to me is where I go down to those levels. And 2025 has not been that. 2025 has maybe had some of those moments. It's maybe had some moments that have really annoyed me, but it hasn't had moments that has kind of meant that I'm going to stop watching. So yeah, I'd say it's bad in relation to where we've been, and it's bad in relation to what the expectations were. But yeah, I'm in agreement that, you know, there's been years that have been worse, like 2019, like Mayor Pete says. I agree with that. Ruthless depression, says Corey. Yeah, that was said, wasn't it? The ruthless depression. Dean said the thing with releases, I'd imagine, have to do with revenue, but that's a double-edged sword, because if you don't showcase the person to build a fan base and draw revenue, then you don't bring in new talent. Well, releases are a budget thing, yeah, but they're also clearing it out so that you can bring new people in. I do hate, you know, that is a part of the business that I really don't like. I know business is business, but I kind of feel like if you sign a contract, then that contract should be honoured. Getting rid of people for budget cuts and ending their contract mid-contract when they've done nothing wrong. It's just that you don't have anything for them. It's just dirty, innit? I get that it's business. I really do understand that. You know, there's people out there that are like, it's business, deal with it, you know? And it's like, no, I do understand. It doesn't mean I have to like it, though. You know? Doesn't mean I have to, like, support it or wave the flag for it. So, yeah, that kind of stuff I really don't like. When it comes to people's contracts expiring and you don't have anything more for them, I do feel different about that. That one is easier to take, I would say. It's still disappointing, and you still feel sorry for that talent, but that one is a little bit easier to take. Cameron said, hopefully Dom's injury isn't too bad. Yeah, I've not seen any sort of update on it. I don't know if there's any word that's kind of coming out regarding it. The only thing that's been said is that he's injured. That came from Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer, Brian Alvarez. We kind of touched on it in the latest Unseen, but I haven't seen any reports as to the severity of it, so don't know at this stage. So hopefully we get some word on it, and hopefully it's positive. You know, he's in a great place. He's the top champ in AAA. He's the Intercontinental champ. So yeah, hopefully we're in a situation where it's nothing too serious. Alex said it's time to get through another tape show. Thank goodness I've got the devil's lettuce on me. Otherwise, this would be a lot less fun. Mind you, being here is always fun. Well, Alex, shout out to you, my friend. Yeah, tape shows suck. And it's a situation that I always go into these shows, certainly tape ones, where my expectation is lowered. I'm really going into this not expecting a great deal. And that's fine. You know, that is absolutely fine at this time of year. To me, the year is done. I think the year kind of finished probably last week, because we did John Cena's final event. That is obviously a massive send-off for him. Of course, then you have a week of chatting about that and how it played out. They do a few things on the live shows. And now they've recorded these shows. All the spoilers are out there. I have managed to avoid them, though. And so, for me, it's just going to lose a bit of magic, isn't it? I mean, you can find the spoilers. There'll be a lot less people, I'd imagine, that will join us tonight, which is fine and understandable. And I sort of feel like a lot of people's minds now switch to the holidays. And again, that's understandable. It just, for me, as I said, you know, previously, we've just done best ofs here now. These would just be like best of the year type things. So the fact we've got some new content and the fact that there's going to be something for us to talk about, I really do appreciate WWE doing that. So got to give them their flowers for that, right? We'll complain a lot, but this could have been just a recap of the year. So I'll take any new content that we can have conversations around. It'd be great if we could just get something. I just hope we get something out of this show. We'll see. We'll see. The theory thing, of course, is going to be of most interest. How are we going to kick on from that reveal last week? Robbie said, I'm going to be in and out of the stream. It's Christmas week and it's Christmas time. It gets me irritable and angry. That's understandable, Robbie. I would expect that from you, to be honest. I would expect you to get very irritable and angry at Christmas time. I know that you really stand firmly against goodwill to all men. And good tidings for all. I know that's something that does really irritate you. So, Robbie, honestly, thoughts with you at this time. I think you and James Chadwick actually would get along very well. Very, very well. I'd imagine you're probably in some sort of Facebook group together. Some sort of anti-Christmas Grinch reunited website, I would imagine, where you can just bar humbug the next week away. So love that for you. Cameron, shout out to you, my friend, said happy holidays days and to the community. I hate tape shows and spoilers, but hopefully these tape shows will still have some good moments and some talking points. Cameron, thank you, my friend. Merry Christmas. And yeah, I agree. I am also I agree. I hope that this is going to have talking points. I hope it's going to have moments. I hate tape shows. I hate spoilers. Yeah, I agree. There's not really too much to add apart from I agree. We'll have to wait and see. As I said, I've avoided spoilers, so I genuinely don't know what we've got coming up. I think theory for me is the big focus here. And then on Friday, for me, it's going to be the whole Drew Cody situation. Are they going to show more heel tendencies from Cody? A lot of people kind of keeping an eye out for that and keeping an eye on that situation at the moment. So, Cameron, appreciate it. Mayor Pete, appreciate it. David Zen, shout out to you, my friend. I appreciate it. Appreciate everyone that's joining us as we are done with the first hour, believe it or not. Love it now. That has absolutely flown by. James, hello. James said, I love glass Coke. I only buy them at Christmas for a treat. 24-pack off Amazon. What, is that Coke in a glass bottle? Is that what that is? I always think it tastes different in a glass bottle. I'm sure it's just a mental thing, but very good. Roberts Balls said, Daze, why do we think WWE released Wes Lee? He was such a good talent. Do you know, I actually don't know the reason for that. Has there ever been like a reason given by Wesley? I know that he's suffered injuries. Oh, here we go. Reason behind Wesley's release. According to Dave Meltzer, WWE decided that he just wasn't in their long-term plans, despite his reputation as one of their best in-ring performers. Meltzer explained that Lee had reached the end of his run because management didn't see him as someone that they would move up to the main roster. I guess the idea is that after 5 years in the system, they just simply felt they were never going to move on him. Lee spent 5 years under the umbrella, became a standout in NXT. Do you know, I think there is an awkward truth that is awkward. And I think we've had this conversation before and people disagree, and that's absolutely fine. But, you know, I don't say things unless I believe them to be true. I think there is an awkward truth that WWE wants bigger guys in the company, because if you look at the faces of the company, historically they've always been bigger guys. You know, you look at Hogan, you look at Bruno, you look at Stone Cold and The Rock, you look at John Cena, you look at Roman Reigns. You know, these are not small guys, average guys. They're you know, 6'3", 6'4", something along those lines, right? They're bigger guys. Bigger than the average man type guy. I think the average person in America is like 5'10", 5'11", something like that. I mean, 6+, easy for these, these guys. Wes, I don't know his height, but he was not the tallest. And I think it's not like we're going to get rid of you, right? Because there's amazing wrestlers that are in the 5 foot range, 5 foot whatever, yeah? Amazing wrestlers. I mean, blimey now, there's some micro wrestlers that are absolutely incredible. But unfortunately, the way that WWE is structured does not help them out. And we've said this before. You know, I'm so sick and tired. I feel like I'm blue in the face having this conversation. You get people coming in saying like, oh, smaller wrestlers suck and all this kind of stuff. I don't know why we bother with them. Why don't we get bigger wrestlers and all this kind of stuff? And you're like, well, hang on a second. Floyd Mayweather is not the biggest of guys. Conor McGregor is not the biggest of guys. You know, these are some of the best pay-per-view sellers of all time. You can't tell me that they don't shift pay-per-views. They absolutely do. I think Canelo is in that same bracket as well, of course. And so, we've got this evidence that smaller guys absolutely shift pay-per-view and, make money. But the problem is boxing, MMA, they're set up for them to be able to do that. I think it's so much harder in WWE. A lot of people point to Rey and go, what about Rey Mysterio then? It's like, yeah, but Rey's like the exception, right? Look at how hard it's been for Sammy. Look how hard it was for Daniel Bryan. They didn't want to pull the trigger on Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan was not going to be the guy. It was the fans that made Daniel Bryan the guy. I even heard, actually, I don't know if you saw that interview recently, but Daniel even said about when he became world champion, how it was a complete fluke. So apparently, and I didn't know this, I only found this out the other day from, I think it was an interview with Chris Van Vliet. So they gave Daniel Bryan Money in the Bank. And apparently the reason why they did that is because they wanted Del Rio to have the other one. And so they were like, we can't have two heels winning Money in the Bank, so we got to go babyface. So they were like, give it Bryan. Doesn't mean he has to succeed in the cash-in. So give it Bryan. So they gave him the Money in the Bank, had no plans for him as champion, right? And the night that he cashes in, he's not even booked to be on the show. Apparently, he was in the area because I think Brie was in the area, so he was in the area as well. He wasn't booked to be on the show, but he was there for Brie. They had a problem with the show, like, we need a moment, we need something. And word came in, Daniel's here, and he's got the Money in the Bank briefcase. And it was like the day of the show, they decided, let's have him cash in and win the title. That will be the shock moment we're looking for. This was not like a long-term planned out thing that was all planned and all this kind of stuff. It's crazy to think that Daniel getting the briefcase and cashing in was completely by chance, was just luck. Him at WrestleMania, we know there was other plans. It is absolutely the fans that get him to that. So, like, people can point to Daniel or they can point to Rey. I mean, Rey wins the title because of Eddie's passing, wins the Rumble and everything. And that was very motivated by Eddie's passing. Rey is incredible. And you can have smaller guys that are incredible. But there is a ceiling there. There is a barrier. They can overcome it. They can get past it. But it's not easy. And I think the thing with Wes is he fell into that spot where, okay, he's a smaller guy, but he's good, isn't he? He's good. I'm sure we can find something for him. And he fell into that category for me. So you go, yeah, he's good. How are we going to use him? What are we going to do? And I think time went by, and obviously he suffered injuries, which did not help because he was out for a long period of time and then he'd have to come back and start again. I think injuries play a big part. But unfortunately, with Carmelo coming through and a few others like Javon coming through, whatever, I think that you look at Wes and you're like, I just don't know where we're going to use him. I don't know where we're going to use him. I feel like the tag division was probably best for him. I think you could have put him with a partner, put him in the tag division, and at least got him started off there. Maybe if MSK had stuck together, which is how he first came in, they could have gone up as MSK and gone into the tag division. When that falls apart, you know, he goes solo, he does great work, but he then suffers injuries, which means he has to kind of start again. And I think, unfortunately, I have little doubt if he was bigger, they would have used him. They would have found a way of using him. I think he would have made it. But with him being smaller, I think it was like, just don't have anything for him. Just don't have anything for him, which I think is a real shame. And I go back to what I've said before. I think that it's set up wrong, because I think there should be a world championship for people that are of a certain weight. I think 205 below world championship, I would totally support. Totally support. I think that would be really interesting and would reinvigorate part of WWE that I think needs reinvigorating, because I think there's a lot of smaller talent. And when I say smaller, I just mean average. They're not small. They're just average. It's just that, you know, you've got a lot of people like Ober, like Trick, that are much taller than the average person. And it's like, it's so hard to compete against that. It's so hard to go up against Brock and Roman, go up against Ober, Trick, you know, go up against these bigger guys. It's more challenging. It just is more challenging to overcome that. You are the underdog. You are undersized. If you had a world championship for people that were 205 and lighter, and you had to be that weight to, you know, compete, like, you know, you can't allow Ober in that. No, you can't, right? It's just for people that are smaller. Call it the middleweight championship or something like that. Calling it the cruiserweight championship. Honestly, I don't think the average person knows what the cruiserweight division is. I don't think they know what it is. I think it's a bad word to use. Maybe go light heavyweight or middleweight or something like that. Obviously, you've got heavyweight. Everyone knows that. Or go heavyweight, super heavyweight, or something like that. Like, but I don't think people really know where cruiserweight sits. I think a lot of people actually, because cruiser, it doesn't really sum up size, does it? Cruiser, it kind of makes it seem like a much lower division. It's the one that's really just below heavyweight, cruiserweight. There is one in between called bridgerweight, which is new, but no one really cares about that. So it's just one below really, and then below that is light heavyweight. So I don't think people really know that, the average person. So I don't think cruiserweight championship works as a name. I don't think people know what it means. Plus, also, it was not a world title. That was the other problem. If you won it, you weren't a world champion. You know, it didn't count to a world championship. It was never going to main event shows. I mean, I think there is a real need for that. I think there's a real need for it, because I think there's a lot of good talent that's, you know, on the slightly smaller side. I look at Johnny Gargano, who I would say is on the slightly smaller side. Same with Tommaso Ciampa. I look at maybe, I don't know what Finn Balor weighs in at, but, you know, Balor, Sammy, I feel like those names could go into that. Wesley, of course, could have gone into that. Rey Mysterio would go into that. Dragon Lee would go into that. I think there's quite a few, honestly. I don't know what Javon weighs. I know he's got a bit of height to him, but he's very thin. I'm not sure what he weighs in at, whether he would qualify. But I think if you had a world champion, and I'd have no problems putting that on Rey, but I think if you had a world champion that was a world champion and do some really good feuds and do it for guys that are a bit smaller, that way they don't have to step in there with Ober to become a world champion. They don't have to step in there with Roman to be a world champion. You know, in boxing, you've got all these different divisions, and each one has world championships. You are a world champion. Canelo's been a multiple-time world champion, even though he's been nowhere near heavyweight. Conor McGregor, Ilia Topuria, Islam Makhachev, all of these people, George St. Pierre, all of these greats. Mighty Mouse, blimey now, he was really small. He's loads of people class him as like a goat. Khabib, who a lot of people class as a goat, wouldn't have stood a chance at heavyweights. He was fighting at lightweight. Think of the money and think of the popularity of those fighters that just wouldn't have stood a chance if there was only one world championship that was just a free-for-all. But that's wrestling, and wrestling's always been that way. Well, actually, not in the UK. UK did have weight classes. There was weight classes in UK wrestling. But WWE has always been that way, with that kind of one world championship, which, you look at it and go, it makes sense. I can understand why we've done that, but I don't know, man. I feel like that's something I'd love to see them bring in. A world championship for people that are lighter. And I feel like they tried. Someone had that idea and tried it with the Cruiserweight Championship. They just didn't execute it properly. Like most things in WWE, it just didn't get executed properly. Kind of had its own division. It wasn't a world title. It was defended on pre-shows. It was a Cruiserweight belt. No one knew what the flip it meant. We were more focused on the fact that they kept changing the ring ropes purple every time we did a Cruiserweight match than actually what the matches were. Enzo was champ for a while. So, yeah, I don't know. I think Wes had that kind of mountain to overcome as well, just going back to the original conversation. So, great talent. Hope he, I think, is he in TNA now? I don't know where he's landed. He'll be fine. He'll find work. But, yeah, I think it opens it up to an interesting, bigger conversation, honestly, about the fact that, we could be doing more for those kind of talent. LA, I mean, I don't know what LA Knight weighs in at. LA Knight might not make it, to be honest. I don't really class him as being small. But, I don't know. There would be another world title out there for anyone that could get below, say, 205. Maybe below 210. Who knows? I don't know where you set the benchmark. But honestly, there would be some banging matches. Ilya Dragunov, I think, would go into that division. He could still go for the big main one as well. You don't stop them doing that. It's just, hey, this is an option for you. You could go for that title or that title. Imagine Ilya winning the Rumble and having to decide which, do I go after the big monster Oba, who's the WWE champ, or do I go after Rey Mysterio, test myself against the light heavyweight champ? Either one makes you a world champion. But think of some of the amazing matches that we could get with Johnny Gargano, Ilya Dragunov, Tommaso Ciampa, Rey Mysterio, Dragon Lee, Vikingo if he comes over. I think WWE will take him. I mean, he's such a great talent. I see him coming to WWE, Raw, SmackDown eventually. I think we will get Vikingo. And again, he's not the biggest. So, yes, I feel like we've exhausted that. And it's a conversation we've had before. I don't see us getting one, though. They've tried it a few times. We've had a light heavyweight championship, of course. But again, it wasn't a world title. They have tried different variations of it. I feel like this idea keeps coming up. It's just Vince was never committed to it. Vince never cared. In Vince's mind, he just cared about the big boys, But I think that's really short-sighted. Really short-sighted. That'd be like the UFC only caring about their heavyweight division. Think of the money they would have lost by not promoting Conor McGregor or Khabib or GSP or Kamaru Usman or Islam Makhachev or... Do you know what I mean? Big Time said, Daze, do we think wrestlers should use others' unfortunate releases as motivation to avoid potentially falling into that situation? These names on the roster I see at risk they just seem comfortable. I don't know. I mean, what can they do? I think that's hard because no one is going to want to lose that job. But equally, what's the right way of keeping the job? And that, I think, is difficult because what are they meant to do? They can't change their character without creative and Triple H being on board. So you can knock on the door and go, listen, I'd love to discuss some ideas. You can do that. And what if you get nowhere? You know, do you go back with a different idea like next week? Do you do that every week? At what point do you start to become a nuisance? Should you be a nuisance? Like, that, I think, is quite difficult. I think really what you are sort of trained to do is to go to the main roster, get given your creative, and make it work. That's the job. What you make work, what you give it. You're like an actor, right? I know everyone wants to be a wrestler that creates their own creative and has their own world, but even Bray found out that if you do that, it ain't going to be yours, you know? Vince is going to take it and make it his own. So I sort of feel like the job is that you come in, you get your name, you get your character, you get your music, which you likely won't pick. You get your graphics. From that, you know, the way that you do stuff, you know, different things will come out of it. Keep that move, change that, do this, do that. And you know, your presentation will evolve. And, you know, you wherever you end up is maybe not what you intended. Might not be what you wanted. Certainly, many people have had careers they did not envisage. I mean, everyone wants to be the guy or the girl, and very few get that. So, you know, you've got to run with what you've got. How good are you at doing that? What have you been stuck with? You know, all of these things are, you know, going to be the challenge. The other thing as well is you can say, well, go online and do social media stuff. Like, if they're not using you on TV, then go online. But again, you are sort of taking things into your own hands. What if you are saying something, presenting yourself in some way that goes against how WWE want to present you? Some of that might be just more trouble than it's worth. You might be okay. They see a future for you. We just haven't kind of got anything right now. And then you go online and do something dumb and upset people. And now all of a sudden you're on the chopping block. So it's like, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. What are you meant to do? You know? What are you meant to do? I think it takes balls to be putting out content, right, online as a talent consistently, because you can easily get something wrong. You could easily offend. You could easily do something or say something that's not in line with your character, that upsets creative, that upsets Triple H. That could happen quite comfortably. I think Chelsea has figured it out. She's cracked the code. She does a fantastic job. She knows that she is a character that's probably going to lose a lot. She knows that she's a bit of a Karen, and she can dig into that. But what's Zoe Stark meant to do? You know? What's Shayna Baszler meant to do? I mean, Shayna Baszler can show her training MMA, but I don't think the average fan is going to find that interesting. So, you know, I think what Shayna was starting to do was leaning into her hatred of, like, TikTok. And that was providing humor. There was she started a TikTok that was about her hating being on TikTok, which was kind of clever. That was good. Unfortunately, she ended up getting cut before that could really, you know, get anywhere. But it's like, I don't know how often people are knocking on that door. I don't know how often people are speaking to Triple H. I don't know you know, I'd like to think that they are at least once. But if you don't get anywhere once, do you go back again the next week? Do you give it a couple of weeks? Like, if you don't get anywhere with Triple H, is there someone else you can speak to? I don't know. It's really hard to give advice, isn't it? I don't think people are necessarily just sat there waiting for their release. I mean, no one is going to want that job more than they want to keep their job. But yeah, I think it's a difficult line to walk. I think it's a real difficult one. If I was in that situation, that's, what I would do. I would be coming up with ideas. I would be coming up with ideas that would be easy to implement, that would be based on the character I've got. But I would also come up with some new characters. And I would try and get some of Triple H's time. I don't know how easy that is. But I would try and get some of his time. And I would basically sit down with him and I would be like, look, this is where I am. And I'd try and find some numbers, even if it was like getting in touch with WWE Shop to get merch sale numbers, or getting in, like looking at video views on YouTube, or going to Google Trends and seeing how I rank with others. I wouldn't just go in with ideas. I'd go in with some numbers where I'm like, look, you've got more numbers than me, but this is what I found. I rank here, here, and here on these metrics. I think I can get to here, 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 like a higher level. And I think I've got some things that are easy to implement. It's not a whole character change. It's not new music. It's not new graphics. It's just a few tweaks to the character that I think is going to get you results. At the end of the day, WWE cares about money. They care about results. Don't go in thinking about yourself. Go in thinking about, how do I make the company better for them? How do I make them more money? How do I improve my character, which is going to improve these numbers that I'm bringing in? I'm here. I can get here. This is what I do. And I've got easy to implement, reasons and things that I can bring in. And honestly, I think that would, well, I don't know that would work, but that would be what I would do. And, Triple H might sit down and look at it and go, look, we're just not getting anywhere with this character. We probably need an overhaul. In my back pocket, I'd be like, no problem. I thought the same. I've got these ideas for like a complete overhaul if you want to go down that road. And I'd have some like fresh ideas as well. It's funny actually, because Peyton Royce did have an interview with Vince. And Vince was like, tell me about yourself. What do you like doing? And she said, I had this meeting with Vince. And, getting his time was quite difficult. But I had this meeting with Vince and he asked me that question. I didn't have an answer. I like sleeping. Or something like that, she said. I do a bit, I have naps. Or something like she said. And she was like, genuinely, I think that's why I lost my job. Because I got called into this meeting where Vince is speaking to me about who I am as a person and what, that can be brought into the character. And she didn't have anything she could bring to the table. If you fail to prepare, you prepare to fail. And I think that that is definitely, hopefully, a side of it that NXT teaches, that you got to be prepared for those conversations. You got to take ownership of your character. But the problem you've got is that, okay, let's say I have that conversation and, 3-4 weeks later, I ain't heard nothing. I could go back to Triple H and get a follow-up, but, if creative don't have anything for you, I think it's actually really, really difficult to get back into the plans. I think it's really hard because you're cold. Someone somewhere has got to go, let's give them a shot. Let's give them this opportunity. Let's give this to such and such. Someone somewhere has got to give you the opportunity over someone else. I think that's hard. I think it's really, really hard. So, I don't know. I cannot sit here and say, oh, the wrestler's got to take more ownership. The wrestler's got to do this. The wrestler's got to do that. Because I don't know what they're doing. I have no visibility backstage. There's very little word that comes out in regards to, again, why I was quite excited for WWE Unreal. Because anything that's going to give us a glimpse behind the curtain is always going to be interesting. Because we don't get that many glimpses, right, into that world, into that side of the business. And so I don't know. I don't know what kind of conversations are actually being had. Each wrestler would have to look themselves in the mirror after they were released, and they would have to ask themselves, did I do everything I could to, keep that job? But some, I think, and it's very understandable because a lot of what I've spoken about are things that I have learned over a long period of time. You know, when I used to work in retail, the person I was when I first started compared to the person I was when I left that company, I'm a completely different person. My thought process and the way that I go about things has completely changed because of the journey I went on within that company. So, you know, I moved around the country. I had loads of different experiences. I worked with loads of different teams. I had people that used to work and do things for me. You know, as a manager of people. And so I kind of went on a journey and I learned a lot whilst going on that journey. And I think those are skills that are transferable to other things. And so, you know, it's easy for me to sit here now having had those experiences and say, this is what I would do. But that's not what I would have done when I was just starting out. So a lot of these kids are just starting out. They don't have the thought process that, you know, I would probably have now because they haven't got the life experience that I've had. And, you know, it's a different environment. You know, they're not going to want to rock the boat. They've made it to the big leagues. So, oh my God, this is amazing. I don't want to ruin this. You know, I'll make whatever they give me work, or at least you've got that intention. And it might not. What they've given you might suck. It might not be any good, and you might not be able to make it work. And they might not have anything else for you, and you might end up out of the company. Do you look in the mirror and think, well, there was nothing I could do? Or do you look in the mirror and think, I should have done this, should have done that? Don't know. That is on a wrestler by wrestler basis, isn't it? That is not going to be a one size fits all type situation. That is going to be a, you know, an individual thing. Cameron, thank you, my friend. How long we got? We got just over half an hour. We got just over half an hour to go. So, Cameron, shout out to you. Firing in. Look at this. Look at this generosity. Cameron, you don't need to be so generous, my friend. Just hanging out with us is enough. But look at that. Cameron gifting some memberships so that people can experience that side of the channel. We are doing a member stream tomorrow, and it is a faction game. Little bit difficult, actually, for people to join in with that, which is a shame. It's basically members getting into groups of 4, and then we do like this kind of quiz. And so that's going to be hard for new members. I would say new members, you can watch the stream tomorrow. I mean, you can join if you get into groups of 4. There's no problems, but chances are you're probably not going to be able to find a group within 24 hours. But yeah, I would say watch tomorrow, get your head around how it works, and then join us on Wednesday, which will be a normal member stream where we just have these kinds of chats. But it's your comments. I know I don't get a chance to get to many of your thoughts and comments, right? Because we have, you know, deep conversations, or we try to. But on the member stream, I really do try to get to people's thoughts and comments. Try to get through like a list of all of them, so we can get to what you want to talk about on those streams. So that'll be Wednesday. So Cameron, thank you, my friend. Cameron allowing 15 people the opportunity to experience that side. And Miss Clown said, it's now my birthday. Merry sexy Xmas all. Miss Clown, shout out to you, buds. Shout out to you. Happy birthday. I believe Miss Clown is 15 today. That is fantastic. That's a big one, actually. That is a big one. Miss Clown has got GCSEs coming up next year. It's a very stressful time in Miss Clown's world, but that's a big one. So, Miss Clown, happy birthday, my friend. Right, Carl said, Daze, I always wanted to see one heavyweight and one light heavyweight champion. My cutoff would be 220. Let's go. I'll take that, but IC and US titles don't have any purpose. They should have Raw and SmackDown TV titles. Possibly they could be the contenders. Yeah, I love it, but I'm with you. I'm really with you. I think that would be really interesting because we've got 2 world champs right now that are basically the same. And I don't mind the current setup. You know, would you get rid of one of the world titles and just replace it with one that's limited to 220 or whatever? I don't know. Maybe. I think that's one that would be good to kind of sit down and chuck around, you know, rather than going, here's what you do. You kind of go, there's a problem. This is the fix. What we do with the current 2 world titles, I'm not sure. Probably would lose one because you don't want too many world champions. So yeah, and I sort of agree that the US and the IC title don't really mean anything. The only downside with losing those is the history, the heritage. You know, I mean, the IC title goes all the way back to the 70s. I think a lot of people have got a lot of affection. You think of that belt, you think of like Bret Hart, you think of that match at SummerSlam, you think of Jericho, think of like, you know, the workhorse belt. That'd be a hard one to just go get rid of, you know. But I feel like there's something in the world title picture, and actually bringing one in for the smaller guys. I mean, it's true. The smaller guys can still get a world title. It's not like Sammy can't get there or Ilya can't get there or, you know, Johnny Gargano can't. They can. It's just, it always feels so hard for them compared to bigger guys. Bigger guys just seem to be able to get there quite comfortably. I mean, if Damian Priest was smaller, the exact same wrestler but smaller, I don't think he's a world champion. Genuinely, I don't think he's a world champion. I think Damian gets that world title because of his size. I think he's tall. He's got, like, you know, a presence, and obviously he's got a good, like, Latin American background. And I think that you know, they took a chance on him, and it didn't really work out. But, you know, we'll have to see if 2026 he kind of gets back to those levels. But yeah, I think there is something in that. It's something we spoke about before. But good to know we're on the same wavelength, you and me, Cole. Miss Dell Jr. said, Daze, how will WWE in 2026 be like on the road to Mania? I'm in Hawaii, and I'm there for a trip. It's 2 p.m. my time in Hawaii. Well, Miss Dell Jr., shout out to you. How will the road to WrestleMania be in 2026? I can't answer that. The only thing I can tell you is that we're not on that European tour. So we're in America. That's better. Much better. We can just focus on the shows. We're not traveling around Europe. We're not staying weeks on end in hotels. We're not faffing around with anything other than just putting on the best shows possible. So for me, it's a positive. It's definitely a thumbs up. In regards to Mania, we also can't rely on Cena's retirement. That means we've got to tell some stories. I think it was so easy to just lean on heel Cena and Cena trying to get 17. And that was it. That was the build. Cena comes out, gets booed. He berates the fans. Cody Rhodes comes out and says, I can't believe you've done this. This isn't the real you. I'm going to beat you at Mania to bring back the real John Cena, right? And that's it. That was it. Cena trying to get 17 whilst being a heel, whilst being billed. The booed was the build for that match. That about as uninspiring as you could imagine. So I've got to think that they are going to put in more work to whatever the WWE feud is this time for the title. It's got to be more than that this time, right? It's got to be. So I'm thinking that that's going to be an improvement. I'm thinking the road to WrestleMania not being in Europe is better. I am thinking that the fact that there's some young talent around that's a bit more established, you know, Bron Breakker is in a better place now than he was this time last year. So, you know, hopefully we can get a bit more out of him. Gunther, I think, is in a better place now than he was this time last year. You know, this time last year, he was a world heavyweight champion, but he didn't have the heat that he's got following the Cena victory. So even though Gunther doesn't have the belts, I think, he's in a better place, genuinely. So he goes into next year in a better place. I think Bron Breakker, as we said, is in a better place. We've got some talent like Stephanie. I think Jade's interesting. Is she in a better place? She probably is. But this time last year, she'd been attacked and she was out, and we were waiting for her to come back to go after who had attacked her. And of course, we found out that was Naomi. So that's what Jade was doing this time last year. She was out. Now she's a heel. She's a champ. Her in-ring is questionable. But I think she's going to have a feud with Bianca, and that should be fun. And the build should be fun as well. Jade Bianca at Mania. I'm not down on that. I'm not down on it. I think the build should be good. That should be a real catfight in my mind. I can see a lot of hair pulling, and that being really personal. So I'm not down on that. Stephanie is interesting because there's a lot of goodwill towards her, but she just keeps delivering bad matches, mainly because she's not being given great opponents. She's fighting Nikki Bella, and Nikki is rusty, to be honest. And also, I think she was good for her time, but women's wrestling has moved on. This is the concern with Paige, is that Paige will come back and she will look like Nikki. The women's division has moved on. The skill level of like where the women were in 2014, 2015, we are long past that now. The expectations have risen as a result. I just don't know what Paige looks like. This is going to be the problem with AJ Lee as well. I mean, AJ Lee was a great talent back in her day, but, is she going to be able to put on a great match and put on great work with the current? We still don't know. She was in a fun mixed tag match where there was a lot of people doing a lot of work to, make that match enjoyable. She looked, she had good stamina in that. She looked good. Her conditioning looked good. She had some moments to shine. But I don't think you could really rate her too much. You certainly can't rate her from the War Games. So we haven't seen an AJ Lee singles match yet. I'm very hopeful that it's going to be amongst her best work. I mean, if she steps in with Becky, which she's gonna, that as a singles match should be the best possible opponent. I mean, I think Becky is really good at bringing the best out in people. I think she is legitimately one of the best in-ring female wrestlers we have. Probably second, third to EO, maybe Rhea. I think that Becky's up there, though. So, yeah, I think, I'm looking at this year, AJ Lee, Becky, I'm looking at Bianca, Jade, I'm looking at maybe Gunther, AJ, or Gunther, Brock, reports of Roman, Cody, which I'm not crazy about, but we know it's not going to be a disaster or anything. Might be a bit boring, because we've seen it twice before, but that'll be the task, won't it? Make it interesting, that's the creative job. Make it, if that's the match we get, of course. CM Punk, Bron Breakker. I mean, we're going to get it in January. Is there going to be shenanigans? Does that go all the way to Mania? Not sure. Not sure what Randy does, but as we said, I don't think it's going to be like a top title match. Sammy looks to be out of the title picture now, but no surprises there because that's just what happens to Sammy. And if you're a Sammy fan, you won't be surprised. So I think, you can sort of see the outline of a card. You can sort of see the general direction. And I think it's looking, yeah, okay. I'm not down on that. There's definitely things there that I'm on board with. And hopefully the women's tag division can keep this momentum going as we get to WrestleMania. Call up a few people as well. Reports Trick Williams is on the way. What if we do Trick Carmelo or something? So, there's reports that he's on the way. So, yeah, and Jericho. We don't know if Jericho's coming back, of course. If Jericho comes back, that'll be a real shot in the arm for WrestleMania. So, I'm optimistic, and we spoke earlier about those green shoots that have shown themselves recently. So I look at those and I'm like, well, there's some life here. There's something. It's not dead. It's not like we're standing over it, poking it, saying do something. I mean, it's done a few things. You know, it's done a few things recently that I've kind of looked at and gone, okay, we can build on that. We can build. If we do, I don't know. You know, if next year is going to be better, I can't sit here and say. I mean, all I can say is that there are a few things I'm seeing that feel a bit better. And I think the rough outline of a WrestleMania feels okay, workable. The fact we haven't got the European tour feels better. So I sort of look at these things and I'm like, you know, there is some reason to have optimism. There is some reason, right? I think it's easy to sit there and go, oh, it's going to suck. This year suck, next year is going to suck. I think that's easy. I think the harder thing is to go, okay, well, that, and that are the reasons as to why it could be good. I think that's harder than just going, oh, it sucks. But I can find a few reasons as to why next year could be okay. I still don't think it's going to be great. I'm not going to sit here and tell you next year is going to be amazing. I don't feel like that's true. But I feel like there are reasons to believe it is going to be a marked improvement on 2025. Mr. Full D said, oh, I'll be in Montreal for SmackDown and Saturday's main. Oh, well, Mr. Full D, have a good time, my friends. I'm sure there's going to be a fair few people that get tickets to shows over this festive period. So what I would say is when you get your presents on Thursday, ping them over. Obviously, tag me in them. I will want to see what people are getting. Certainly, if it is wrestling-related stuff, stands a real good chance of making it into Unseen, of course. Non-wrestling stuff, probably not, to be honest, because I'm expecting that we'll probably get flooded, which will be great. It'll just be interesting to see what people get. So that doesn't, I don't mind that. But I think seeing what people get and just getting a glimpse into other people's day, I think people will find that quite interesting. So definitely feel free to ping over pictures if you get like wrestling bits and bobs, and I'm sure many of you will. I'm sure many of you have asked for various different things. We did a quiz the other day, actually, and the results came back of the number one thing people wanted was replica titles. I mean, some of you have gone big with your requests, asking for replica belts. So we might have a few champions running around in the community. So, yeah, interesting. Right, where are we? Humble Rumble says Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns for the WWE title. Actually, that's reminded me, I haven't changed these, have I? I don't believe Under the Fire Lords are our current champs. I need to change that. That is a job that has slipped my mind. James said, I ain't getting anything, says James. Well, James, just have a good day. I know that Christmas is very, very different for lots of different people. I mean, I have also not asked for anything. I'm sure I'll get... I mean, we actually do, for our family, when they come round, because the family come here, we're in the countryside. So it means that, there's a bit of room to park and, we can make noise without having to worry about the neighbours. We're very fortunate in that regard. So the family tend to come round here, both my mum's side and my dad's side. Unfortunately, like, the grandparents are no longer with us. So it's like aunts, uncles, cousins, right? It's great. I mean, we have a great time. That'll be on Sunday. So it won't disrupt the channel. But, they come round and we have dinner and drink and catch up and all that usual stuff. Do like a little pub quiz thing. And it's really good. But what we do is we just do a £25 Secret Santa, which is okay. It's all right. I'm not crazy about it. But, that's what we tend to do is, like, rather than people buying everyone gifts and, life's hard, man. Financially, it's really challenging. So rather than, like, having to buy everyone a little something, you just get someone, do a Secret Santa, and you just buy them a gift. And that kind of works out quite well. So I'll get something, but it's going to be rubbish. It's going to be probably socks and blooming God knows. I'm trying to think what I got last year, actually. I did get socks, but they were like pattern socks that I would never wear. I mean, the socks I wear are about as interesting as the shirts I wear. I went out, I bought a load of black socks, and that's me done, you know? Black underwear, black socks, black t-shirts. When it comes to clothing, I am just not adventurous because I don't need to be. So someone last year bought me some coloured socks, and I'm like, I am never going to wear these. No one's going to see these, apart from me, and I don't like them. So, actually, James, I'm jealous of you not getting anything, because I might actually end up getting some I actively hate. So there we go. That'll be Christmas for me. Aseem said, Daze, my view is that Bloodline papered over the cracks. 18, 19, 20, they were poor. People like to say that the Bloodline years were good, which they were, but they don't act like the Raw's lowered SmackDown, but don't act like Raw's lower end SmackDown were any good, said Aseem. Well, I'm actually in agreement with you. I'm in agreement with you. I think that it did paper over cracks. I think Bloodline did do that. But I think that the Bloodline stuff was so interesting that it was more than enough. I think the way that I would explain it is Aston Villa. So Man United played Aston Villa yesterday, and Man United, by all metrics, were the better team. They had more shots. I think they had more possession. The expected goals. So, you know, looking at like the amount of possession, the amount of shots, chances created. There's a little thing now that it's like, taking everything into account, we would expect you to get this many goals. And I think it was like 1.5, right? And Villa was like 1.0 something. So expected goals say that Man United should have won that match, right? They didn't. They lost, right? They lost 2-1. And the reason why they lost was because Aston Villa did enough to make sure that they didn't get overwhelmed, right? They didn't, you know, if they'd gone like 2-0 down or something, maybe they would have struggled to have come back from that 3-0 down or whatever. So they didn't get overwhelmed, but they just had a player, Rodgers, who scored twice, yeah? Brought that little bit of star power that just meant they got the result. And I think that is kind of comparable to where we were with the Bloodline, in the sense of, I think there were things on Raw and SmackDown that were being papered over. But I think that the Bloodline story and other things, I'd point out to, say, Rhea and Liv, and I would point to Drew and Punk. Like, you know, it's not just Bloodline. But, you know, you can point to some other stuff, and obviously the whole Sammy situation as well, which was really fun, which is technically Bloodline. But, you know, those kind of things that were going on, I think you can point to those as papering over the kind of mid-card, low end of the card. I think there was some good stuff in the women's division as well, by the way. But yeah, I think that did paper over some stuff. But it was so good that it got the result. Just like how Rodgers was so good, he got the result for Villa. And it meant, more importantly, that you wanted to watch the next show. You know, you wanted to see where the story was going. It might be that not every segment delivered. It might be that there was some weak writing and lack of creativity in certain areas. But in the stuff that mattered, it delivered. It delivered big, and it made you... You know, it meant the start of the show was good. You kept going back to the Bloodline, which kept the show engaging. The main event would be Bloodline related. Bloodline were also dipping over to Raw and kind of, you know, appearing over there. So, you know, Bloodline was so successful, we were seeing them like going on to both shows sometimes. And I think that as a result, it meant that the core of the show, SmackDown in particular, was strong. I think it meant that you wanted to then watch the next week. And but I think the two things can be true at the same time. Everything I've just said can be true, but it can also be true that there was parts of the show that underwhelmed, and that there was parts of the show that was being papered over. And once you remove the bloodline and you remove some of the other good stuff that was going on, like CM Punk Drew, and you remove Liv Rhea, and you take that stuff away, and most notably the bloodline, take that away, then you're just exposing that soft underbelly that's kind of always been there. And now we just have more of that. And there isn't really anything that can kind of paper over it now. They hoped the John Cena retirement tour would. They hoped that the Vision would. I don't think either did. And I think, there was a bit of work done to that underbelly. Open challenge has been good. The SmackDown tag division had a real focus on it. Women's division with Io and Rhea has been really strong. But I think Jade's run underwhelmed post-Mania. And I think that Stephanie has underwhelmed since coming to the main roster. She obviously got the world title, which it's hard to say she underwhelmed, but she got to it so quick that it sort of feels like not so much that she earned it, more that they just wanted to get her to it, to be honest. I think that's a bit of a problem. Her move into that title so quickly was so quick that it doesn't really feel like she climbed much of a mountain to get there. It just sort of feels like we want to really showcase this woman. Let's get the belt on her now. And so I think a lot of people are still sort of learning about Stephanie, and they're still trying to get used to her. Like I don't know that she's massively over. I sort of feel like the Devil's Kisses. She even made that point. I'm more than just the Devil's Kiss. I think there's been a lot of people making the comment she's just a Devil's Kiss and that's it. She's not. She is more than that. She is a very good wrestler, but you wouldn't know or be able to tell that from her matches with Nikki. I mean, her match at Survivor Series got an awful rating. So, this feud with Nikki is not landing. And I sort of feel like people are just a bit like not that excited by Stephanie at the moment, which is a real shame because she is great talent. She'll have a great year. I'm not worried about Stephanie, but I can't really hold that up as a positive for 2025. Can't really sit here and go, Stephanie is a major positive. I mean, she's a major positive long term, but short term, like, what's happening at the moment is just, I don't know. Do you know what? She's the women's champ on the show we're about to watch, and I did not even think about her for a second. Right now, I've literally, for the first time, I've just gone, is she on the show? Is she on the show tonight? I don't even know if she's on the show. She's a non-entity to me, really, at the moment. I didn't even think about it. And that's not great, is it? The women's champion should be really, in an ideal world, as notable and interesting as the men's. We sit here and we talk about Punk and we talk about Braun and we talk about Cody and we talk about Roman. We should really be doing the same when it comes to the women. But the women do feel like a real step down at the moment, with Jade being the one champion and Stephanie being the other champion. It's not about ability, but it is about experience, and it is about presentation. And I don't think either have got loads of main roster experience, and I don't think their presentation has been quite right for either. I think, in fact, Jade has just changed hers. She's a heel now after being a babyface for a little while. So, we're trying to build her aura. I think we could get somewhere. I'm all right with her Bianca. Stephanie will have a good feud for Mania, and she'll be fine next year. Don't get it twisted, not saying that she's not a good talent. She is. But, I don't know. It just, where we are right now in this very second doesn't feel quite right with Stephanie for various reasons. But, fingers crossed. The hope is, of course, that it will get there next year. So, yes, I think there is a soft underbelly there, and I think that Bloodline did paper over some cracks Which, you know, again, if I'm Triple H, I'm looking at going, right, so if this creative team have not been right for a long time, and there has been some cracks that have been papered over, I've got to do something, you know? I've got to make some changes. I've got to change this. I've got to improve this. This needs to be better than this. I don't know. I don't know if that's happening. I don't know if Triple H is strong enough to do that. I do question that. I do question if he is a strong enough, ruthless businessman to do that, or if he's too nice, one of the boys. You know, has he got that ability to kind of tell people this is how it's going to be? I think the thing with Vince is he had a vision and he executed that vision, and he would listen to other ideas, but nothing would get in the way of his vision. It didn't matter if you were family or whoever you was. Vince was doing what Vince wanted to do. There is something to that. There is, I mean, like, unfortunately, his vision was not always great. I think a lot of people look at Vince and through rose-tinted glasses, because there was plenty of stuff that he did that I was not a fan of, right? I mean, we've just sat here and listed how 2019 sucked, 2021 sucked. I mean, honestly, they came out and apologized, didn't they, around 2018 or whatever, 17, all the McMahons coming out and apologizing, saying we know we're not delivering. All of that seems to get forgotten. It's weird, isn't it? When it's kind of like, this isn't working, we need something different. The only thing we know is Vince. Let's go back to that. It's like, let's not. There's definitely other things we could try instead. Let's try Sean. We give Sean a go if you want. I still think it's the creative teams, though. I still think the creative teams are the issue. More so than Triple H, and but is Triple H strong enough to deal with that and sort that? Right, have we got a show? No is the answer right now. It's not there yet. Hannah, hello. Daze, hope you're well. What's been the best and worst fight from this year? Cena, Cody at SummerSlam was the best. Punk, Usos, Saturday night's main event the worst. Is Raw announcer versus Gunther the worst for you? I wouldn't say it was the worst, actually. I understood why they did it. I was not a fan of watching it, but I understood why they did it. Okay. Where? I've got a slight problem that this thing is starting in a minute and this show is not there yet. Have any of you got it yet? What's going on with Netflix then, Matty? I don't know, but normally it's live, but it's... I mean, are they waiting for it to literally click over to 1 before it becomes available? Yes, they are. It is available now. There we go. Okay, we are up and running. Yeah, I do need it on that. Where's the sound? There's the sounds. Okay, this is going to be a problem for me. This is going to be a problem. Started, yeah. It started for me as well. Literally, as soon as it clicked over to 1, bang, it appeared. So I think they had it so that you couldn't watch it until it literally got to the time, to the second. Yeah, you're going to have to let me know when we are... Let's do this. You're going to have to let me know when we are at commercial breaks. Are we going to have them, though? Because it's on Netflix for all of us, isn't it? Perhaps this is not going to be a problem. Perhaps this is just going to work. I don't know, actually. I don't know. I'm a bit confused. Perhaps this is just going to be okay. because we're not on network TV, so we shouldn't have to worry about like not being in sync. Right now I got Ray 619 in Logan. Yeah, Hannah, in regards to your question, I think match of the year, I might go Kevin and Sammy. I thought it was incredible, but definitely a shout out to the Rhea and EO Evolution. And also, I don't know between Cena, Cody, or Cena, AJ, honestly. But those would be ones that I would want to lift up. I know a lot of people will go triple threat at WrestleMania, but I don't know what it is about that match, but it never blew my mind. I like it a lot. Don't get me wrong. I'm like 475 on it. I mean, it is a match of the year. But for a lot of people, it's a no-brainer. And I don't feel that way. I don't feel like it's a no-brainer. I feel like it's a brainer. But, so yeah, those are the, like, best matches. Worst matches. I mean, I don't know, man. I feel like Gunther Jay might deserve a shout because of that tap out finish and the fact that it's so hurt Gunther, and I don't get it. I don't get it. I mean, they're still chanting "you tapped out" to him. I mean, they've got to regret that. Surely. They've got to regret it. Also, special shout out to Jacob Solo, that cage match. That was atrocious. It's amazing how that family is capable of putting on such bad matches. But that was a really bad match. Gunther Pat, nah, I wouldn't. I sort of get it, honestly. I get that they were trying to have it. I think he should have murked him more, actually. That would be my criticism. He did murk him and he did win. He should have been more brutal. Okay, we got Heyman with the Vision. I've got this, says Heyman. He's going over to Theory. Okay. I like this. I like this a lot. I like Theory saying he got comfortable. Okay. Heyman's on boards. Yeah, good. Starting off with a backstage segment there. Exploring the different relationships. And obviously we're expecting Theory to join the Vision. But yeah, the first words from Theory following the unmasking last week. There's Corey Graves. Let's get right to it, and we're going to the women's tag division. Yeah, I don't mind that, honestly. I thought that was pretty good. They do regret the decision to have Gunther tap, says John. I think that's why they had the Cena tap. It was just a lazy attempt to try and correct that mistake. So annoying, so infuriating. I mean, it's one of my least favorite moments of the year. Okay, Rhea is saying to EO, stay backstage. Look, they just cannot flip and keep their hands off each other. Rhea is heading to the ring. Rhea is going to be in action. EO told to stay backstage. Rhea says, I've got this. Okay, Mommy is making her way out. So looks like we're going to be starting the show with a match and lots of Christmas trees. Christmas decorations. Presents. Christmas trees. And Mommy. That's how we're opening the show. This situation dates back many months, says Michael Cole. Let's change over this bit on screen because we are going over to our first match. So she's taking on Asuka in what I'm hoping is going to be a banger. The only problem is I do expect Rhea to win. And if Asuka wins, it's going to be through cheating. I wish they would sort of give some credibility to the heels. You know, Asuka is such an incredible talent. It's okay for her to beat people clean. Like, she is an amazing wrestler. All I want for Christmas is Mommy, says that sign. Right, this is pre-tape, said Jojo. Jared said, I'm not convinced Theory's with the Vision. That look that he gave Heyman when Heyman walked off, it tells me a different story. Okay. This shows how many ads are on a WWE show. Normally it's 2.5 hours. Tonight it's just 1.5. You can't make this up, said Wrestling Fan. I don't know what we're going to do with ads, honestly. I mean, I really don't know how this is going to work. I'm guessing we've all just got the same video file around the world. And so hopefully we can all just watch it and enjoy it at the same time. Some people, though, might have a version of Netflix that has adverts interrupting. Here's Asuka and Kairi. Kairi dancing away on the outsides. Rhea needs a push in the right direction. Eighth time these two have faced. And Asuka has never won. Well, that's great, isn't it? That fills me with loads of confidence. Okay, Rhea Ripley is hurling Asuka across the ring. This is for EO. So she's chucking Asuka around. Apparently Asuka has never won. Asuka coming over. Shot coming in. Right. I wish that Rhea and Asuka at Mania 37 would have had more time, said Alex. I was so hyped for that match at the time. Oh, Riptide, but Asuka managing to get out the ring. She goes to the outside. Kairi is out there with those tag titles. Rhea comes out, goes after Asuka. She grabs her, hurls her into the barricades. And again, Asuka getting chucked around. Big chop coming in there by Rhea. Asuka is getting thrown back into the ring. Rhea on the edge of the ring being distracted. Hip attack there by Asuka as Rhea goes down. Asuka coming over with Rhea, hurling her into the barricades. Okay, it says continues, like we're going to go to commercial break, but we have not. So I'm guessing that is... Are we all still in sync? I ain't got no commercials. Just gone carrying on with this match. God, this is going to be a really quick stream. Wow. So this ain't going to be a 2.5 hour Raw. It's just going to be an hour and a half. Guys, this might actually be the greatest show. This might be the greatest show. I didn't get any commercials, said Wrestling Fan. Oh my God. We are going to be done in an hour and a half? Dudes. Oh, that's scenes, said Porky Pig. Absolute scenes. Guys, we're going to enjoy an hour and a half Raw, and we're not losing any of the content. Just the adverts. This might be the best Raw of the year. Quick kicks coming in there by Asuka to Rhea. Little one as well. It's finished. That's how quick it's gone. Blimey hell. No commercials because it isn't live, said Penny for your thoughts. I know, but did wonder if they would still insert them. I don't really get how Netflix works, to be honest with you, because there are adverts that I think can get inserted that are kind of not shown on the video file. Bang. Big boot there by Rhea, but we haven't gone to any, so... Asuka, middle of the ring. Rhea on her feet, looking to go over against the ropes. Asuka talking to the ref, and Rhea gets tripped. So lots of outside interference. So there we go. Kyrie on the outsides. No EO, of course, to even things out. EO is in the back. Kick coming in there by Asuka. Oh, heavy to the chest. Asuka again, just teeing up Rhea. Boom, another one. And again, really laying them in. Rhea grabbing the leg. Getting up to her feet. Chop coming back there by Rhea as Asuka goes over against the ropes. Lovely work by Rhea. Big clothesline. And again. Duck underneath. Spinning around. Kick to the chest there by Rhea. Even with this outside interference, Asuka still struggling here as Rhea getting the better. Charging in. Single leg drop kick as Asuka goes down. Looking for the pin. 2. Shoulder up. Daze, are we all right with WWE testing the women's champs, or would you rather give the title to established stars and let Jade and Stephanie become bona fide stars? I would have gone slower with Stephanie. I don't think I would have got her to that title as quick as what they did. I'm okay with them moving with Jade's because Jade's been around for a little bit and she is... Quick kicks coming in. I think she's got the look. Her match quality is not there, but I think there's a ready-made feud for her and Bianca. So I'm okay with us taking a chance on Jade. She's been tag champ. Ideally, she should have had a run with the mid-card belt. Ideally. Super kick as we go to another commercial break, but there is no commercial break. So, yeah, I wouldn't have took the chance on both at the same time. But I think WWE are trying to take a bit of short-term pain for long-term gain. Kick coming in there by Asuka. You're a tad behind, said Edwards. That's okay. I'd rather be a touch behind. Asuka grabbing the leg there of Rhea. Ankle lock is in. Remember when Raw first started, it was like 45 minutes long, yeah? Yeah. Going over against the rope. Bang. Kick coming in there by Asuka as Rhea is down. Here's the cover. Kick out. They should drop the women's tag storyline. Move the big names into the US and IC scene, said Johnny. Johnny, hope you well. I get the feeling that we will get some ads when we get to go to Saxton in the stands, said Jared. Right now, they might not have any of those segments. I don't know. Asuka has got... gets taken over. She had a hold applied there, but she gets taken down by Rhea. Asuka in control. Edward said, I'm not getting any adverts. No, same here, but it's brilliant. We can just get stuck into the action. We're looking for a suplex. Superplex here by Asuka. She was going for it, but Rhea is finding a way out. She's got Asuka in all kinds of trouble at the moment. Kick coming in. She's got Asuka on the shoulders. Oh. 1, 2. Shoulder up there by Asuka. I can't tell if it's really the crowds that are making this noise or if the crowd is being sweetened. I mean, the crowd sound really good. If you look at the crowd, though, they do seem to be making noise. They do seem to be applauding. Yeah, Corey Graves says, this is awesome, responding to the crowd. So he must be hearing it. They kind of put it in after. Right now, Asuka rolling up Rhea. 1, 2. Kick out by Rhea. Rhea charging over. Big boot as Asuka moves out the way. Dumping Rhea to the outside. Asuka charging in. Hip attack. Gets caught. Gets caught, dragged through the ropes. We're on the outside of the ring. Asuka with a German. A German suplex there to Rhea. On the hardest part of the ring. Rhea's nose bleeding a little bit because of the nose ring. I don't know why anyone would want to wear a nose ring whilst wrestling, says Corey. Right now, we've got Asuka. Big boot there by Rhea. Another big knee shot coming in there by Rhea as Asuka rolls out the ring. Good job there by Asuka. I thought we would see Raw live tonight, but I understand it's a tape show, so they created his tape, but yeah. Well, it's okay. I mean, we're flying through it. And didn't even consider that, honestly. I still thought that Netflix would put adverts in, but seemingly not. They're just letting it run as a video file, so brilliant. Kairi again getting involved for like the 3rd or the 4th time as Rhea goes into the ring. Here comes Io. She's seen enough. She's seen enough. Io has made her way down. Kairi charges over. Yeah, okay. Io. Holding her back there. Having a word with the referee. Kairi takes the legs away from underneath Io. Kairi shouting at Io. Io down. Kairi down. Asuka rolling up Rhea. 2. Asuka gets it. Asuka wins. She's got a win over Rhea. Yes. Oh, I'm here for this, actually. I'm here for this. I don't know that we could have had any more outside interference than what we got, but I'll take it. Yes. So Kairi getting involved, Io getting involved, but the end result is Asuka gets the win. Let's get match scores, shall we? See what you lot thought about that. Dun 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 dun. Boom, boom. Okay, we're backstage. First win against Rhea, yes. Bronson said he doesn't trust Theory. Okay, so Heyman's like, look, where were you guys a year ago? You might not be feeling Theory, but someone had a vision for you guys, and that person was Paul Heyman. Okay, it's going to be Bronson and Theory. Oh, right. Bronze said, just so you know, I've got your back out there, but not his. Okay. Who was watching Maxxine then? Maxxine was walking, but there was someone staring at her. Someone was just looking at Maxxine as she walked. Was that Natalia? Gotta tell you, there's loads of people online at different points in this show. There's people talking about segments that are happening next, and I don't know. Are people skipping through the show or so? I don't know. We all got it at the same time, didn't we? Okay, tonight we're going to hear from Gunther. I'm the same thing. I agree. Glad Theory is back, said Jordan. Okay, here's Bex. Big time. Big time making her way down. Right. Days for Christmas dinner. Are you going to be a turkey guy or something else? This year I've got some turkey, gammon, and beef. Ooh. I think we are usually turkey. I'm not a fan of turkey. I don't think anyone loves turkey, to be honest. It's always so dry. So, it's just tradition, innit? Yeah, I'm not really a turkey person. I think having a mixture is probably the best way forwards. So I believe it is turkey, but it's all right. I mean, to be honest, you get like all the trimmings, don't you? So can't be down on a Christmas dinner, but it's not my favorite of meats. Okay, Becky is out. This will not be a celebration for Moody Maxxine. Okay, I'm guessing this is going to be a rematch. I'm guessing it's going to happen at that January show. Because they're trying to stack that thing, aren't they? So I'm guessing this is the build for that. She knows some powerful people. She's gone to the biggest wigs. Crowd are chanting, "You suck." Maxxine, they're talking to you. I've just got a video. I wanted to have a look who was looking at Maxxine in the background. I've not seen a single Rapids. Okay, so she's ranting. Everyone's saying it. Here's Maxxine. Just need to cook the gammon off for Christmas Eve. Are you having gammon, are you, buds? Who else misses Steampunk Becky? I can't wait to see all the praise from the bot account, says Johnny. Okay, Becky's attacking Maxxine. Becky is standing over Maxxine with that Intercontinental Championship. I feel like we're going to do the match, and I feel like Maxxine's going to win. And I'd like to just get all that out of the way, to be honest. Becky goes back. She's beating up on Maxxine. Maxxine looking for an ankle lock. She's got the ankle locker applied. Are they trying to base her off Donald Trump? Yes. Daze, Becky looks like Cruella de Vil, said Jordan. Maxxine is supposed to rest on Italia in January. She's going to keep that title. Is supposed to rest. I don't know what you mean. Right, we are moving on to Stephanie. Okay, where are we? We are done with Becky tapping out to Maxxine. Here's Javon. Here's the young OG. Oh. After you're done, let's talk about your future. Here's Stephanie. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, Stephanie wants Nikki and Raquel. Okay. Okay, El Grande is coming out. Is this going to be Rayo? Rayo's in action, isn't he, against Javon? It's probably going to be Rayo. Okay. Stephanie versus Raquel versus Nikki should be good, said Wrestling Fam. Jordan said, I was looking at a photo of Rodriguez bump from last week. It was brutal. Ugh, she had a real injury, didn't she? That was nasty. Really nasty. Okay, Javon versus Rayo coming up next. Raw, happy. Oh, sometimes they do a fun animated thing, but I haven't seen one this year. Actually, I haven't seen one in a few years, I don't think. Oh, here we go. Usos. Okay, so we got an Usos hype package. Apparently, there's some people experiencing a blackout issue for this week's Raw. That's what's being reported by Ringside News. I don't know if any of you have experienced that. I've not had any problems. But apparently, there's some people struggling to play this video file. So, yeah, we just got a little backstage thing. Usos are going to get a shot at AJ and Dragon Lee next week. 4 letters, 1 word, Usos. The voice of AAA, Corey Graves. Right, let's get rid of this poll, shall we? So we don't get distracted. Here's the young OG. Now this'll be good. Young OG. Young OG. Why? So they're saying is a free agent. Yeah, I mean, everything they're saying sounds like he's up, doesn't it? Sounds like his main roster now. "21 years old." Okay, Javon in there with Rayo. There is a major power outage in San Francisco. There's like 130,000 that haven't had power since Saturday. Really? I haven't heard anything about that. Nice drop kick there by Javon. Okay, against the ropes. Javon over the other side. Down goes Javon. Bravo watching on. El Grande out there as well. Javon going over against the ropes. Rayo working on the arm. Down goes Javon. Why is Pete wearing a mask, said Kieran. We do constantly ask that question. I don't know what the long-term future is for Rayo and Bravo. Trying to get Javon trying to get up to his feet. Middle of the ring right now. Kick to the midsection there by Javon. Javon takes Rayo over. Rayo on his feet. Javon coming over, grabbing Rayo over the other sides. Rayo on the ropes. Javon goes up over to the outsides. Rayo. Oh, no joy. That'll mean Javon can go against the ropes. Big air. Boom. They love that shot, don't they? They love him going over the top, and then they cut to that sort of bird's eye view. The young OG doing young OG things as we go to commercial break, but we're not going to commercial break as we're continuing with the matchup. Kick coming in there by young OG. Climbing up. I don't think this match is going to go that long, but I don't feel like Javon needs to struggle too much against Rayo. Very interesting, though. Very, very interesting in regards to Rayo throwing down some forearms. Again, lovely work there by Javon. For people who are having problems with their Netflix, I'm just letting them know. Everyone that didn't know this is pre-taped. I don't think it's that. Ringside are reporting that there's like a blackout. I don't think it is that people just can't find it. There's a whole article on it. Because apparently it says here that they ran into a problem shortly after the show aired. The episode appeared on the platform, but it wouldn't play for some. So I don't know. I don't know if that's a real issue or a few people. I mean, maybe I mean, it was grayed out, wasn't it? I mean, I wonder if it was that. Javon taking the shirt off. Punch coming in there by Javon. Suplex. Lovely suplex there by Javon. Lovely work there by Javon Evans. Comes crashing down on Rayo. Going for the cover, but a shoulder up Shoulder up. Rayo down. Why is the crowd booing El Grande? Don't they realise he's got respect with Rey Mysterio? Well, I don't think that he is a face in America. I think it's weird, isn't it? The way that he's being used in America compared to how he is being received in Mexico. Lovely driver there by Rayo too. Javon just getting the shoulder up. So lots of distractions on the outside. Lots of distractions. Javon getting the shoulder up. Do we think Raw or SmackDown needs the call-up more? I think this is what... I think both are in need of improvement. I think you need more than just Javon as well. Middle of the ring. Slap coming in there by Rayo. We're about 45 minutes in. Super kick. Step up enziguri there by Rayo as Javon goes down. Quick kicks by Rayo. Javon. Lovely work. 1, 2. Kick out there by Rayo. So Javon against Rayo is proving to be a bit more competitive than what we was expecting. Middle rope. Shot coming in there by Rayo as Javon springboarded off that middle rope. Rayo is going up. No joy. I think he was going for a moonsault. Cutter incoming. Connects. And that should put him away as he gets the win. There we go. Javon wins. Let's get a poll. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now El Grande is in there and Bravo is in there and they're all going after the young OG. AJ and Dragon Lee. We beat New Day. We beat Judgment Day. We beat War Raiders. They got a matchup coming with the Usos. Okay. We're backstage with Rey and CM Punk. They're going to be in action against Bronson and Theory tonight. Happy holidays, Raw. Oh, I've got an advert now. Have you got an advert? I've now got an advert. Have you got adverts? Or is it just me? But I've now got an advert. Javon wins. Trick needs to be called up, said Jason. Where is Logan Paul? That's right. He was watching his brother getting his jaw broke, said Corey. The boy really is bouncy. I love it, said Simply Simon. Daze, did you see that twisting top rope cutter by Jack Cartwheel in AAA? Even better than Javon, said Joseph. All right. I got flipping adverts, so I might have to skip forward a little bit. So a bronze segment. Okay. So Bron just talking about CM Punk right now. On January 5th, the results will be the same. I am the dog you cannot outrun. Okay. Okay. Yeah, good promo, Jeremy. I agree. So a message there, Braun just sent to CM Punk. Really building up that January show. Okay, we got Nikki. Nikki has arrived. People will be thrilled. Seems like everyone's forgotten who I am. She's cutting a promo on the commentary table. How would you lot know what champions look like? You root for the Lions. So a little bit of laying into the local sports team, low-hanging fruit stuff. Works though, doesn't it? It's working. Hello, William. Hope you're well. James said, no one's forgotten who she is. It's just that no one cares. Nikki said last week I destroyed Raquel's face. Stephanie might be a big deal in the ring, but I'm a big deal everywhere. Yeah. Was it Ivy? Was it Ivy that was in the background? Ivy has just tweeted out Maxxine walking backstage. And she's just tweeted out some eyes emojis. Do you remember we said there was someone in the background when Maxxine walked? The picture was really poor, so I couldn't make out who it was, but it seems like Ivy is taking responsibility. Okay, so Nikki, that was fine by Nikki. Don't hate on that. That was fine. Here comes Lyra and Bayley. Okay, so we've got another women's match coming up. Becky says that the ring was covered with ants, and she was trying to kill some of those ants, and that's why she was hitting the mat. Right. Another commercial break. Honestly, that might be the best she's ever sounded. It doesn't take much, but still, it wasn't terrible, says Ray. Yeah. I agree. I mean, it's not. I agree. It's not an incredibly high bar. Nikki Bella is never been known for being like a great promo, but that was okay, honestly. Not down on that. Okay, here comes Roxanne Perez then. So Bayley against Roxanne. Stephanie is a big deal in the ring, but I'm a big deal everywhere. Okay, Roxanne making her way down. Match number 3, and we are 50 minutes into this. According to the video, we've got less than 40 minutes left of this show. Roxanne versus... which is so strange. Have we had much yet? I don't know. What the hell do you use as a thumbnail? Yeah, I don't know. Here's my final offer. Backstage passes, limited edition Tony Khan action figure with phrases like "I feared for my life" and "one night with Tony Storm." Deal. I don't know what we've agreed to, but let's go. Right now we've got Bayley Roxanne, match number 3. Let's get rid of our poll because otherwise it'll be a bit confusing. This poll was for Javon against Rayo, and yeah. So far, for match number 1, you lot said was good 93. Match number 2, you said was good 95. Like you've not been giddy about the in-ring we've had so far. Hopefully this can turn things around. I certainly think Bayley Roxanne can deliver. This match could be good. Bayley to Bayley. Boom! Gets it. 1, 2. No joy. Rolls to the outside. Liv is out there. Liv is wafting away at... Roxanne. My God. It's weird seeing Liv with Roxanne. Right now, Bayley on the outsides. Roxanne through the ropes. A little bit messy. Kind of goes down. On the shoulders of Bayley. In where are we going? I don't know where we're going. No, we're going nowhere. Chop block. That's what we're getting. So, Roxanne back in control. Shots coming down there by Roxanne. A little bit messy as Roxanne came through the ropes, but they've managed to get it back on track. As Bayley's going, hello, Liv's going over having a chat with Corey. Drop kick. Oh. We know about the damage that Bayley has taken to her knees in her career, so... yeah. Oh, that's quite smart by Roxanne, actually. Bad knee, Bayley. Bad knee, Bayley. Roxanne comes in. Face first into that top turnbuckle. Roxanne on the outside. Liv trying to come round and offer some encouragement as Roxanne grabs the leg. She's going to look to smash Bayley's leg into that ring post. Boom. Okay. Oh, and again. Bang. Bayley's split personality story seems to have died, said the man from Time Forgotten. I come to expect that now. It was a great story, but it went nowhere. They could go back to it. I mean, it does seem to have been dropped. They could go back to it. I still think there's going to be something that comes out of that, but yeah, no sign of it at the moment. I mean, it could have gone. They could have dropped it. They could have felt like it had no future, but we could always flick back over to it. I wouldn't be shocked if Bayley Lyra was like WrestleMania, or certainly a feud in 2026. I hope something huge happens tonight that shatters the wrestling world. I just want to give spoiler makers the middle finger. Mikey said, hello, everyone. Long time no see. Sad to see what CM Punk is going through. I know that feeling. I put my cat down 3 months ago. She was only 7.5, and that's why I've not been around. Mikey, sorry to hear that, buds. I've never kind of lost a pet like that. I mean, I've had pets, but goldfish and whatever. But not like, you know, a cat or a dog that you have for years and years. So, yeah, I mean, he's really feeling it. He's been putting out a lot of messages, a lot of posts. Oh, Raquel's here. I think that's understandable, isn't it? I mean, he was a big part of his life, and I think it's understandable that he's kind of going through it at the moment. Right now, Lyra coming round, and whoa, big boot there by Lyra. Lovely sell by Raquel. Love that sell. Lyra with a kick to the head, and Raquel just went. Oh, lovely takedown there by Roxanne. Double knees to the back. Going for the cover. 1, 2. Shoulder up by Bayley. Love the sell. Love that sell. Right now. Kick coming in as Roxanne goes back to the corner. Bayley coming over. Bang! Roxanne goes into that middle turnbuckle. Bayley going for the pin. No. Is this the best match so far? It might be. I feel like this is the match that's grabbed me more than the other matches. Bayley going over against the ropes, gets tripped over by Liv. Hey, I'm here for a Liv Bayley feud. Liv trying to distract the ref. Okay, Liv telling Roxanne to take that turnbuckle off. Bayley comes over, goes face first into that exposed turnbuckle. Referee didn't see it. Stop! Stop! Raquel, stop arguing! Oh, that's interesting. Liv just grabbed Raquel. Raquel was distracting the ref, but distracted the ref too long. Now Lyra is taking down Raquel and Liv. Oh my God, they are not on the same page at all. Oh. It feels like Bayley might be about to get the victory here. Judgment Day just cannot get onto the same page. I don't know why Lyra has to keep sort of doing this. Like, I don't know, it's a bit weird. Is that... It's a bit weird, this kind of presentation of Bayley, like, that she, like, hulks up when she gets slapped. I don't know how I feel about it, man. I mean, I like to see Bayley doing well, but... There we go, Bayley gets the win. I personally didn't need the slap thing, but I think we're trying to make that a thing. The bigger talking point to me is Judgment Day not being on the same page. Sign in the crowd said if Roxanne loses, then I riot. So I'm expecting that person to riot right now. It gives Festus vibes. Yes, you're right, James. It does. It does. From being down and out to alive and well and full of fire. Well, there's Raquel and Liv. Okay, get your thoughts in for that. I think that's the best match. I think it's the most interesting match, but it's probably one of the most interesting parts of the show, honestly. Gave us a couple of talking points there. Bipolar Bayley is just crazy, said Akeem. Oh, right. Women's Intercontinental Championship match. I missed when that is. Is that next week? Or is that going to be in January? Is that January? I totally missed that because I was chatting to you guys. Oh, guys! His Theory stepping up to Big Bronson. It's January. Well, Maxxine will win that, I'm sure. So it'll be good to just get that out of the way. I don't know why you're showing such aggression there. He's saying to Big Bronson Reed, you can follow my lead. I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting him to show... I thought he'd be really grateful. Oh, yeah. Now we got a lot of arguing backstage. We're all just trying to help. Yeah, big argument backstage. Wow. They're not all on the same page, are they? I know division when I see it. And it just reared its ugly head. Alex said, whenever Liv shows up on my screen, I must hit the pen to go through the talking segment. I love her wrestling, though. Okay, we just got a shot of the crowds. Judgment Day are about as cohesive as a family playing Monopoly on Christmas. Here he is. Here he comes. The Ring General. I mean... Da, na, 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 na. Gunther! Bum, 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 bum. Big smile on his face. He's laughing away. People are... Look at him. He's flipping loving it, mate. He is loving it. Gunther making his way down to the ring, looking around at the crowd as the crowd are booing their heads off. Sign in the crowd says, thank you, Cena. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's days and all. I hope 2026 will be better for me with my grandma's death and a few other deaths and my cats and also the death of the Cena character. Well, Mikey, I hope that 2026 is better for you. I hope 2026 is better for everybody. As we're all looking for a better year next year. Gunther in the ring. Crowd booing away. Gunther with his arms outstretched. Smile on his face, looking around the crowds. It's good heat. It's good heat. Me, I suck. You suck. Gunther laughs his head off. I feel like I'm watching something now, which is good. That last match helped. Gunther in the ring. Be interesting to see what he's going to say. I mean, surely it's not just more of the same. Surely there's something that we get here. At the moment, yeah, look, more you tapped out chance to Gunther. Ugh. I was praying that he would flip the Prime station. Gunther gets on the commentary table. Arms outstretched. Boos raining down on Gunther. We've got about 20 odd minutes left to go here. So weird, this show being like an hour and a half with no adverts. So Gunther lapping up the booze, lapping up the hatreds. Like a little kitten drinking its milk. How does Daze stream keep randomly jumping ahead? Jumping ahead. Are you getting any adverts though or anything? Gunther is getting heat like Dom used to, said Hawks fan. Gunther is the most boring guy ever, said N. Griaps. You shouldn't be mad at me, says Gunther. You should be mad. You should be mad at the guy that tapped out like a little... That is true, isn't it? It's true. Gunther went in there and tried to beat Cena. It was Cena that decided to tap. He could have passed out. Here's CM Punk. Punk making his way down. Punk going straight over to Gunther, right in his face. Oh, I'm here for this. I'm here for this. Raw giving us a moment. Look at the intensity from CM Punk. Loud CM Punk chants. Gunther laughs. Oh, see, did he say you're mad as well? Gunther walking away. Gunther said you shouldn't be mad at me. You should be mad at the little beep that tapped. Oh, here comes Rey. Obviously building to our main event. Do it to him as well, Gunther. Do it to him as well. Here's Rey. I don't think Gunther's going to get invited to the Christmas party. I don't think he cares anyway. Yeah, that little shake of the head there. Ray's got a few words. Gunther laughs and walks away. Everyone's upset with Gunther. Okay, main event time. As Ray makes his way down. That was basically Gunther getting in the ring, being confronted by CM Punk, him mocking Cena, and then laughing and walking away. There wasn't loads to it. But that was fine. It was summer. It might have just given me a thumbnail. I hope this gives us something, though. I haven't had one commercial or ad, but at random points, somehow your Netflix jumps ahead. Oh, I can't see how that's possible, to be honest. I don't know. We're backstage with Gunther. I don't see how that's possible. Okay, he confronts AJ again. You just don't know when to shut up, do you? I guess I don't. Okay, main event time. Let's end this poll so we don't get confused. Time-wise, 18 minutes. Okay, next week. Triple threat. World Tag Titles being defended next week. Okay, you lot weren't really impressed with Bayley, Roxanne, to be honest. You gave it good 94. Okay, Austin Theory is going to be coming out now, though. His Theory, Heyman, Bronson, coming out to the Vision music. I forgot he was the Oracle. He's got a great look, Theory. He's got a great look. Sign in the crowd said the Vision are cotton-headed ninny muggins. I second that. They really are. Big Tony D said, Daze, the offer is to stream AEW. Oh, I'm all right, thank you. I'll pass on that. Daze, are you doing an opinions video? Yes. Yes. He doesn't get his own entrance. No. No, he does not get his own entrance. Okay, we are underway then with our main event of the evening. Theory is wearing a character like Seth from 2016. When I see that Austin was the masked man, I lost interest, said Jellyheads. Big Tony K is disappointed. Okay, CM Punk and Rey versus Theory and Bronson. Theory's losing streak is going to continue. SmackDown. Just got some SmackDown preview showing on screen. Drew. Oh, there's Drew and Cody under the same roof. Theory has got a good look to him. I wonder if he will have a new song when his solo to the ring. It's a good... Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. I mean, if he's in the Vision, I think they'll probably just keep the Vision theme going. Okay, going to commercial break, or at least we normally would. Still with this matches. Right now it's Bronson in there with CM Punk. We will do the breakdown video. It's not going to be loads to break down, but there'll be something. They made all the match graphics look pretty cool, said Johnny. Yeah, yeah. Definitely has a bit of a holiday vibe, of course. I like the entranceway as well. That's good. Theory has got a good look, said Phoenix the Reds. I wonder if he will get a new song. I think we touched on that. Theory and I have got the same haircut, said Alex. Presentation and the gimmicks a bit boring to me, said Humpty Vision Jr. When did they tape this? I can't remember when they taped this. I think, did they tape this on Friday? They might have taped it Friday, because they did a Raw. Yeah, I think it was Friday. I think they did on Friday Raw and SmackDown. And the one we ended up watching on Friday, the SmackDown we watched, was recorded on the Monday. So I think this was recorded on Friday. They taped it Friday, said Ian. Big Time said, what do we think about the Vision? I'm bored of the group. I like Heyman and Braun. Logan and Bronson just aren't doing it for me. Yeah, Logan's only just joined. I mean, Logan doesn't do it for me, full stop. Bronson, I think, could, but he needs to be presented as dangerous and a problem and someone to fear. At the moment, he's just sort of presented as another member. Do you remember Solo, the way that everyone was sort of nervous to spook him? Everyone was sort of like, even Heyman had to tiptoe around Solo, worried about what Solo might do. Bronson's just sort of presented as another member of the group, isn't he? I think he needs to be presented as the problem, the enforcer. You don't want to do that without taking anything away from Bron, though. That's the only thing. Difficult to navigate, but it's not really anything to Bronson. I liked him Merc in LA Knight, though. You know, we'd seen it before, but at least that gave him something. But yeah, there are issues with the Vision. Those issues have been there since this group formed. Shot coming in. And again. Big blow to the back there by Bronson. Bronson with a big boot to CM Punk. I've got to tell you, we didn't have loads of talking points from SmackDown. I feel like we've got a little bit more this time. A little bit more. Last time on Friday, I had about 17 slides. I've got about 30 so far. And we're not done with the show yet. We've still got 10 minutes to go. Headbutt there by Bronson. If they taped SmackDown on Friday, why didn't they tape this week's Raw after last week's Raw and do a live SmackDown last week and then add this week, said Bobster. You'd have to ask them, but... Big Time said, I'm a fair guy. I'm going to give this show a 2 out of 10. Restaurant said, it's because Paul emphasizes and makes it known that the focus is Brom. But then hell throw Bronson a bone in there, said WrestleRants. Right now, the crowd cheering as Punk trying to make that tag. Tag mates. In comes Rey. Big cheer for Rey. Rey going against the ropes. Forearm shot coming in there on Bronson. Rey on the shoulders of Bronson, trying to get him over. Seated sent on there by Rey. They didn't go back-to-back Raws to give talent a break, says Randy. Going over against the ropes. Oh, lovely work. Next week's live, said Edwards. Rey on the outside. Seated senton again. Down goes Theory. Another little cut to commercial. And once again, we come back. Let's go. Right now, Theory is in control. We're just having a look, seeing what happened during the commercial break that we never had. Big Bronson Reed hitting Rey to give the Vision the momentum. Theory working on Rey. So, Michael Cole said that Theory's auditioning to become a part of the Vision here. To the outside. Bang! Rey going face first. Into the commentary table. Back in the ring goes Rey. Nikki just tweeted out, Orlando Bella Army. You know we will be celebrating next Monday. And new. Tag being made. Bronson coming in. Shot to the midsection. Corey said, this match is slow and boring. Right now, Bronson with Rey looking to pick him up. Well, so far, this is match number 4. Every match has just had a good rating tonight. Good 93, good 95, good 94. And there's not really too much here to suggest you're going to give this anything other than a good rating here as well. Right now, Bronson picking up Rey. He's got Rey. Standing, delayed vertical suplex. He's got him up. Rey, all the blood going to the heads. Bang. That was nice. Reminiscent of Davey Boy. Davey Boy used to do that. I hope that next Friday we've got some energy drinks because it's going to be 3-hour SmackDown. Is it? Yeah, not this week, the week after. I think you're right. I think it does go 3 hours then, doesn't it? Blimey now. That's double the length of this show tonight. Blimey now. I mean, we used to do it on a regular basis, so. Right now, we've got Rey up as Theory lays in a boot. Randy said, I think Theory is a double agent for Seth, and that's why he is attacking people that Seth doesn't like, says Randy. Avenge Dammit said, I get that everyone is giving this show a down, but for me, I'm just glad to be watching people like Rey and Punk and AJ. They're in their late 40s and they're trying to give you some a bad product continues a bad product continues to soil. 1, 2, kick out. Big Time said, Daze, is it me? I think we're looking at the calendar year. It feels like Raw's on repeat. I feel like I'm watching the same show, but just with small differences, says Big Time. Robbie said the European tour begins soon, after the January 6th episode of Raw. Randy said, no ads, rock. Okay, Ray gets Theory down. Got 5 minutes left to go. Wrestling Void said, this is very skippable. Ian said, I think Bayley Roxanne was match of the night. Okay, CM Punk reaching out his arm. Tag mates. Shot coming in there by Punk. Shots coming in over against the ropes over the other side. Kick coming in there by Punk. Theory over against the ropes. Swinging net breaker. Punk wanted to get his hands on Theory after what Theory did at Survivor Series. Big knee coming in there by CM Punk. Theory goes down over in the corner. Big knee there by Punk. Running Bulldog. Punk coming in, bringing some energy. Looks out to Heyman. Heyman not happy. GTS being called for. Theory on the shoulders. Elbow coming in there by Theory. Back slap tag being made there by Bronson. Clothesline by Punk. Punk against the ropes. Another clothesline. Over the other side. Against the ropes again. Over against the ropes. Grabs him. Hurls him in the corner. Big boot there by Punk. Punk to the outsides. Climbing up. He's up top. Forearm shot coming in there by CM Punk. 1, 2. Shoulder up. Days for people beep about it being taped and how bad the shows are. The show's entertaining, even though Janelle Grant and Linda haven't walked out to the ring and kissed. I don't think we were expecting that. That would be quite the Christmas moment, but it's not something I was looking out for. I feel like this is a tape show, and if that had happened, I'm sure I would have heard about it. Even though I did say, please don't give me spoilers, I'm fairly sure someone would have told me that had gone down. Theory coming over, murking Ray. I genuinely don't know what's going to happen. I didn't know what was happening on this show. I don't know what's happening in this match. I don't know what's happening tomorrow. I recommend trying to avoid spoilers if you can. Certainly for shows that are taped. Here we go. 1, 2. Oh, Bronson grabs the leg of Ray. Pulls him out the ring. Elbow drop there by Bronson. King Yeti. Shout out to you, my friends. Firing in some gifted memberships. Really appreciate it. Humble Rumble wanting to see Drew Roman for the WWE title. And Lola J. Yes. Pankerheimer. Shout out to you, my friends. Shout out to everyone that's just benefited as well from King Yeti's generosity. Forearm shot there by Ray. Top rope Inzaguri. Days spoiler for tomorrow. Wrestling happens. Oh, that's good, James. Whew. Okay, Theory coming over and stopping this momentum. Crowd quite hot here, you know. Curb stomp. 1, 2. Oh, Theory gets the pin and the win. Gets it with the stomp as well. Corey Graves said, I think he just nailed that audition. Oh, there's Braun! Theory is getting laid out. Braun breaker. Spear! That had some bite to it, that spear there by Braun at the end. That had a little bit of bites. As the show comes to an end, so Braun breaker lays out CM Punk. And that is Raw, man. Blimey hell. We have ended an hour early. What am I going to do with that hour? I might go to a spa. I might go on a shopping spree. I might go to a theme park. I've gained an hour back in my life that I was not expecting. Sadly, I'm boring and my life is very dull, so I'll probably just sit here. But there we go. It is a victory for the Vision, thanks to Theory hitting a curb, which is interesting. And, yeah. I should have gone on holiday instead of watching this, said Humpty Vision. Take care, everyone. Lone Star friend, shout out to you. Theory keeping the stomp is interesting. That's a talking point, said Phoenix. Trini said, I'm here in the dark. Wrestling almost muted. Chat closed. Trying to get rid of my migraine. Turns out my neighbor's got her Christmas gift early. It's an MF Harley. What's that? What's that? Like a Harley Davidson? What do you mean? What's that? Is that not helping your migraine? All I'll say is at least it's not bagpipes. I feel like that would be worse. Is NXT tomorrow as usual? It's taped, but it's same time. Daze, do we think we can see the Vision getting all the gold at some point? I could see them getting World Champion Tag titles, yeah. I don't know about them getting an IC as well. I don't know. They could. I could see them getting tag titles and the top title. I don't know about them having the mid-card belt and absolutely everything, but they could. Simply Simon said, I think whoever suggested Theory working for Seth was a great shout. A new stable for Seth and Theory incoming, said Simply Simon. Yeah, it's a theory that's been bobbing around. Even before Theory was unveiled, people were saying, if it is Theory, is he actually working for Seth because of them working together like 5 years ago? I don't know. I'm not sold on it personally because I think the word on the street was Theory was going to join the Vision anyway when Seth was a leader. I don't think they had any plans for him to be secretly like a double agent because Seth was not going to get turned on. So if this is the plan now, it must have been something that's only just come to kind of gather, you know. So there's a chance of it, but there's not really anything there other than just fan theory, you know. Brony said, I'm not watching NXT or SmackDown because it's taped. I know the shows are going to suck. Is this how an AEW diehard fan feels? I don't know how an AEW diehard fan feels. But, yeah, I mean, I can understand people staying away from the shows this week. Totally get it. I think, you know, it's all right for wrestling to just take a bit of a back seat. As I said, you know, I've got Family Round on the 25th. I've got Family Round on the 28th. So for me, wrestling is... We're still covering it. I'm still going to do an opinions video. I'm still going to do a breakdown. I'll have a look at unseens and whatnot. So, I mean, we're still going to be delivering content. But, yeah, I mean, it's kind of done. I feel like the year's kind of done. once we get back to the live shows next week, and certainly that January show that they're really hyping up. That to me, if there was an off season in wrestling, it's now. If wrestling ever has an off season, it's this week, and I feel like the comeback from that off season is that January 5th show. That's when we're going big, and that's when it's like, let's go. That's when 2026 is going to really start for wrestling fans. So, yeah, I think that's definitely the one that is going to be, good couple of weeks. This week, next week will be okay. We're back to live shows at least, but I think it's that January show that's the relaunch. Wrestling Void said, I'm not going to watch SmackDown. I'm busy with Stranger Things. Fair play. The Vision is a mid-team, said N. Graps. Can't see them lasting that long. Daze, I really want Theory to succeed. I just don't know how to feel about him as a heel. It just doesn't feel right. I hope the end goal is to turn him face. They've tried him as a heel multiple times. Metal Mama, hello. Shout out to you. Phoenix said, I think the problem for me with the Vision is they don't feel like the personalities work as a team. Maybe we should do a bit of a Vision opinions video or something. I'm sure we can squeeze that in somewhere. But yeah, I'm going to run away and get set up for the breakdown video. We'll just chuck all the thoughts into that. Good 92. Actually, you lot said the main event was the worst match of the night. Blimey, no. Probably not unfair, to be honest. I really was quite underwhelmed with it. Let's get the feedback request up, shall we? Feedback request. What did you think of Raw? Let's get that up. Daze, is it realistic to think the Wyatts will be more involved or wishful? No, I think it's realistic. I think it's realistic to think they'll be more involved. I mean, they missed a lot due to injury. They won't have that next year, or at least certainly hope they won't have that next year. Metal Mama said, I wish I was excited for WWE as I am for Stranger Things, but Triple H is too busy dedicating his time to telling people to work out during the holidays. Love you guys, says Metal Mama. Metal Mama, shout out to you. AB WWE fan, shout out to you. Deadpool Party said, Daze Theory is just trying to get the Vision's trust. And when he does, then we'll find out if he is a mole for Seth. Yep. Calvin, shout out to you, buds. William says, wrestling is everything. What's this from Becky? You asked for this, Maxxine. I tried to do this the easy way. You want to go toe-to-toe with the greatest of all time? Big mistake. You might want to ask for your cheerleader job back or reopen up the modeling agency, because you'll be out of a job. There's a video here of Becky.
See what I'm talking about. Now, everybody saw exactly what I'm talking about. Moody Maxxine goes out there, illegitimate champ that she is, holding my title, which, by the way, there should have been police there to arrest her because she didn't own that. She stole that, and then she's taking pot shots at me, the greatest of all time. Not just me saying it, everybody says it, okay? Sports Illustrated says it, the Bleacher Report says it. And then now she's going around claiming that I tapped. I didn't tap. There was an infestation of ants in that ring. Disgusting. I would expect nothing less from Michigan, but you know what? Okay, I'm gonna do this for you, Maxine. I'm gonna let you enjoy your Christmas. I'm gonna let you enjoy your Christmas, so you can maybe ask Santa for a replica belt, so you can hold it, so that you can remember how it felt to hold a title that you didn't even legitimately earn. Okay, and you can have it for New Year's, and you can kiss your title at New Year's, because it's the only love you'll ever have. I know you're getting married, but I don't think it's gonna last because you're very moody. I don't think anybody would like to be married to you for a long time. Okay, and then you're gonna kiss the title at New Year's, the only kiss you're gonna get, because I said, like, you're very moody. And then on the 5th in Brooklyn, I'm gonna take that title back. Okay, so enjoy it. I hope Santa brings you a replica belt, because it's the only belt you'll ever be holding again. And actually, we should have the cops here to arrest you. I'm gonna go find them. Actually, let me call 911.
I know you're getting married, but I don't think it's gonna last. Wow, flipping. Let's go. The only thing I like about this feud, me personally, you might like it, I don't know, but the only thing I like is the severity, the extreme crash out that this has caused Becky. Has been very, very entertaining. So that has been like the best thing to come out of this. There we go then. That was Raw. We've got all the scores. I'm going to run away and work on the breakdown. That'll be up in a few minutes. So thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. Don't forget, we're back tomorrow for NXT. We got a member stream tomorrow as well. And we're back on Wednesday with a member stream as well. There's no Evolve this week, unfortunately. So, yeah, that's a shame. But we are back with some streams and... yeah, awesome. Thanks for joining us. Have a fantastic Christmas if I don't see you before Christmas. I know some of you only join us for Raw and SmackDown. So have a fantastic Christmas if I don't see you before. I hope you have a great one. Friends and family, and get all the things that you're hoping for and have a great time. And yeah, we'll be back after Christmas with SmackDown and Raws and... fingers crossed, a good 2026. So, yeah, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it as always, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.